All right, welcome to the Franchise Time Machine. Today we are going to be commemorating Juneteenth by importing some of the greatest player seasons from Negro League history into 2025 Major League Baseball run environment. The focus is on players that did not get to play Major League Baseball or only got to play well past their primes. So, like Jackie Robinson, Roy Campanella, players like that, we're gonna skip this season. This is something I try to do every OTP cycle that I've been streaming, and we can do different versions of it each time. But this time around, I did want to focus on players that did not get a chance to play in the majors, or like Satchel Paige only got to play when they were well past their prime. I think he was like 50 or 60 when he finally got to pitch in the majors. So this is a chance to let those players shine. So we're gonna focus on those players in our import. So I did have a roster build session on Tuesday, and we focused on this roster and a father son roster that I do every Father's Day. And for both of these, this is the first time we're doing each of these since we got the single season import, which I'll talk more about when we go to the import screen. So I actually am just rerunning a past father son roster because that team never got to kind of play to their full potential because they were not getting the appropriate import. And but OTB Developments has given us what we wanted, which is a single season import, and they should play much better this time around. So look for that. I also am trying to be better about exporting VODs to YouTube so that I can actually go back and watch the old Sims, which I can't do with some of these because I I didn't export everything to YouTube, so when they disappeared from Twitch, they disappeared for good. And so yeah, so there are probably some cool experiments and some fun theme sims that are gone. The good thing is I do have most of the roster files. In some cases, I still have the season saved. Best case, I also have the quick start, which I saved before starting the sim save, so we can always go back and revisit some of those if there's ever a reason to, which I have done with some of the experiments, trying to calibrate how, for example, how OOTP27 is simming differently from 25 and 26. Um, a lot of these experiments I only started after streaming, so I don't have those experiments prior to OTP 25, which is the first cycle I started streaming OTP. All right, so let's take a look at the roster file. That's a good place to start. Oh, no, let's start with the pack giveaway form. I think I have it ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat. We'll pin it to the chat. Usually I take a quick spin through it to make sure everything looks okay, but this is a form we use a lot for create a roster, and so I don't think there are any issues with it. We've used it enough time that I think any problems will just surface by now. So link to form for today's first 10 pack giveaway. I'll be streaming again later tonight. We'll have another separate episode, another separate 10 pack giveaway. It'll be community member Nerd of Anarchy playing, I believe it's Dead Ball Creator Roster tonight, and then no Low Ball Creator Roster tonight, and then he'll be playing Dead Ball Creator Roster next Friday. All right, so that is that is in the chat. It's not pinned yet. Let me pin it. Okay, so just fill that out. There is a lot of questions, but we have a lot of fun with the survivor cell section for first place, and then the second place section. It is long, but it's to give everyone a chance to kind of a fair chance to win, and and we have a good time with it. So good luck with that. Let me get the roster file ready to show. Okay, here's the roster file. It is a 26-man roster, but I added a few more players because I wasn't sure how some of them were going to import. In particular, players like Smokey Joe Williams, Jose Mendez. Um, the season I wanted, based on kind of reading and research, was not showing up in Baseball Reference. And that made me worry that if it's not showing up in Baseball Reference, then it's not going to be available in the OOTP database. They're not always a one-to-one match. Sometimes it'll be in one and not the other, or vice versa. So there's still a chance. I still tried entering the season I wanted to see what would come back. I did a test import, and like 80% of the players imported great. So I know we can do the sim. That's good. I think for the rest, we have a few potential solutions, and I've listed them in the pack giveaway form. We're going to use editor to either replace the current ratings with their peak ratings. Um, we can also go into Baseball Reference, look up the stats we want, enter them into the game, and ask the game to give us the ratings that correspond to those stats. The problem is those stats will then not be kind of era adjusted. Ideally, what we would do is we would do that in the year they played, get the ratings for that year, then import those ratings into MLB. Because the way like 30 home runs compares in 1934 versus how they compare in 2026 are going to be very different. But we won't have the benefit of that roster adjustment. I don't know, so that's why I prefer to go with the peak potential ratings whenever that's possible, because those should theoretically be era adjusted already. So the big one, for example, is I think it was Jose Mendez, 1909. Yeah, I think anecdotally, I found a couple sources that said like he went 44-2 that year, and I think with a lot of the NeL stats, it is a combination of leagues and barnstorming, and so the data is kind of the quality of the data is not as good as the equivalent seasons in MLB, and so I couldn't. 1909 isn't even in the database. As far as the database is concerned, his records start in 1920 and end in like 1925, and when he's in his late 30s, so his whole early career is missing. Um, so players like that, I'm concerned about how they're going to import, and so we will probably have to do a little bit of adjusting. Again, my ideal would be to just use the peak ratings in the game, but we'll see. Might have to get creative. And then the defense will also have to get creative, because even when I imported with career defensive ratings, um, a lot of the players that we know played multiple positions because they had smaller rosters, and the barnstorming format I think resulted in players also playing out of position or multiple positions. Um, a lot of them imported with just one position, even under career ratings. So I'm going to reserve the right to look in BREF, and if they played multiple positions, we're going to give them experience in those positions. And this will be good too if people haven't used editor before and don't know how defensive ratings work in the base game. Um, Adding ratings is a really simple way to give people another position eligibility, without really tinkering too much with the ratings. Because you're not changing their underlying skills. You're just saying they can apply those skills now to this particular position by adding experience. So you're not really tinkering too much of them. You're just giving them the ability to play a position that they don't have in their profile. But they won't theoretically play it any better than they would have if they had played that position during that particular season. So it's like expanding their skill set. It's not really like boosting their skill set. So I think it's pretty fair. So what we do is we take this column, the one that concatenates the player name, the year, and what we're going to do is we're going to rename the Mets the franchise time machine team. This way, if I ever use this roster again, instead of changing this file, or more importantly, the text file that I am going to generate based on this, I can just change the team abbreviation of the game one time, import the players. I can change it back too after the import, but it's a much simpler way to do it. So let me open up a notepad file, and I will show how to turn this into a TXT file that can be uploaded into the game. So we just take this column and I actually already did this once, so I'll just show you what it looks like. It'll just look like this. I'm just pasting it into a program that'll allow me to save this list as a TXT file type. So I'll do a save as. And this is episode 707. Is that right? I feel like my episode numbers are wrong. No, I guess that's right, 707. Okay, so that file is now saved. So now when we go into the game, we need to upload that file. I know where it is. So we're going to use a quick start. The quick start is the create a roster run environment that we use for a lot of my community games. And what that does is it has things like injuries, player development, coaching, anything that might change a player, or things like trades, AI roster moves. Those are all turned off that might change a roster, so that the teams we start with at the beginning of the season are the same ones we end with at the end of the season. And because there are no injuries, we don't need roster expansion. We don't need a reserve roster. We don't need minor leagues. The same 26 players are just going to battle it out through the season. Because there are no injuries, some teams that actually did not do as well in real life will perform better in the sim, because some of the key players that they might have lost to injury, they're going to stay healthy all year. Like any team that has DeGrom, for example, right, is going to sim better in this run environment because they're just not going to get hurt. All right, so the name is going to be Sim OOTP27, episode 707. Juneteenth. Okay. We we are going to take over the Mets with this squad. And we are in commissioner mode. We have to be to do the player imports and editor things that we need to do. And the first thing we're going to do is delete out the current Mets roster. Oh, no. First thing we're going to do is fix the mailbox settings and the manager options. These are things that do not import when you open a quick start. So we have to remember to do all these. All right, now, I guess let's go ahead and save that. We're going to clear out the existing Mets roster. And now we're going to get ready to do the import. Let me check one thing before we do that. I have a couple of live speed runs I need to draft, and I need to know what time they're going to fire. Live speed run fires in an hour and a half. So 6 o'clock. Probably, ideally I don't want to interrupt the sim, so maybe between the sim and the pack giveaway scoring, I'll jump off and draft. I think I have two to draft. All right, let's make sure there's no one in the free agency pool. Actually, we're importing to the team, so that won't even matter. But I do like to check just in case. If you don't specify a destination, your players will import into the free agency pool right here. And so if you only have one or two existing free agents, that's fine. It's still more convenient to delete them. But if you, and you've probably seen this with the Red Rock League with Dr. Dynastic, if you import players into an environment where you have a big free agency pool, you then have to go find your players, which can be challenging and annoying. So I either delete out the free agency pool, or that's why this roster file has. Oh, that reminds me, I did not change the destination. We need to change the destination, or they will end up in the free agency pool. In this case, because the pool is empty, the only inconvenience is we'd have to go into every player and individually put them on the roster we want them on. Dr. Dynastic, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. I was happy to see my player George Burdell in the Barstow Buzz win a game. And I guess advance in the postseason. Exciting. Today, over here, we have a tribute or a theme sim. To commemorate Juneteenth, we are bringing in a team of all-time Negro League legend greats into the 2025 MLB season. And because I'm a Mets fan, the Mets are going to benefit from having all those players in 2025. So it should be a good time. This is the first time I'm doing this sim since we got the single year player import, which I'll explain a little further when we're on the import screen. But it's something we asked OOTP developments for when we learned we weren't getting a single year sim last cycle. And to their credit, they gave it to everybody within a month and a half of us asking. And it's been great for us because we do a lot of historic imports, and now we get exactly the season we asked for, instead of a blend of the season we want and the years before and after it. So it'll be a neat twist to that. It's also the first time I'm doing it since we had a full version of OOTP that came out after MLB announced that NeL stats would be treated like MLB stats. So that happened during the OOTP26 cycle. So because of that, I think some of the some of the data was not in place in OOTP26. OOTP27 came out after that had been announced, and it looks like the NeL player data is much better, and the profiles are importing much better. So credit to OOTP developments for making sure that this version of OOTP, again the first that came out since the announcement by MLB that NeL stats would be MLB stats, that those players are now importing the way they should, which is great. Pinned to the chat is a pack giveaway form. You can guess how this team is going to do in 2025 and win packs doing it. 7 packs for first place, 3 packs for second place. It's a pretty long form, but we have a good time scoring it and doing the tiebreaker. So hopefully you'll find that it's worth it. Here is the roster file that I put together. A lot of it was just based on kind of my reading and research over time. I also, every time I do this, I brush up on, to see what the latest, websites, publications have, whether there's anything new. There's also always new data being uncovered. And so as the set of data improves, I also hope that, maybe new players will become available, or their peak seasons will become available. So I'm always kind of checking again to see that. So that's why there's more than 26 names here. I was concerned that some of these players might not import the way I want. Some of the seasons that are what I want based on my research are not available in baseballreference.com, which also then makes me worry that they won't be available in the OTP database. I'm just replacing the entire Mets roster with the 26 best NeL player seasons I could find. So it's partly to highlight how great these NeL players were and to show what they might have been able to do in a Major League run environment, especially a modern Major League run environment where strikeouts and power are boosted over historical. And but you can see the names here. You can see how they import. You can wait to see what the profiles look like if you want, or if you have to go, you can submit now, and you don't have to be present to win. You can still take a shot at winning. And I've put some guidelines into how I'm going to adjust for some of the players that don't import properly. Just from lack of complete data, I don't know. Sometimes it's still that maybe some of these seasons, if they were in the wrong, so I think Negro Leagues is kind of a blanket term that we use, but there were several leagues within that, and so some of those leagues had kind of better or worse fidelity of data and information. And so some of these peak seasons are not in the database. I think partly it's because of that, or it might also just be whether or not that data was then able to be imported into the database. No, Josh Gibson is the number 1 catcher. Oh, yeah, sorry, I might have not scrolled up enough. So, I put in a couple of bullet points in the form that describe what I'm gonna try to do if some of the players don't import well. No, Ollie North, I think it was my bad. I don't think I had scrolled up to the top. So he was cut off along with the headers. So now you should be able to see him. The example I was talking about right before the raid came in is Jose Mendez. In 1909, he supposedly went 44-2. But that's a combination of, I think, a couple of leagues, barnstorming, and BREF doesn't even have a record for him until 1920. And so I tried importing the 1909 just to see what would happen. We can also try importing one from the 20s to 50s, but by then he's well past his prime. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to make players like him look like their peak, or replace him with someone else who imported better. And what I'm hoping to do is, this is I think the second or third year I've done some version of Negro League greats imported to 2025. This year it worked out great because I want to do this on an afternoon stream, I stream every Friday afternoon, and then most nights at 10 p.m. Pacific time. Friday afternoon, we just get more eyeballs, and it happened to be Juneteenth, so what a perfect time to get more people to see how good these players were and how fun it is to sim them in 2025. It's going to be a good time. Um, and so each year, I'm going to try to look to see, like, do we now have a 1909 Jose Mendez profile? Or is there another player season that came in that we didn't have before that would really be fun to bring in? And so I'm hoping that this roster kind of gets tweaked year to year. And then also for some players like Josh Gibson or Satchel Paige, um, you know, we can pick a different season next time that might highlight something different about their skill set. I did. You might notice some players you were expecting missing. I did focus on players that didn't get to play in the majors or only got to play in the majors well past their prime. Again, the whole idea is like to highlight what these players um, did and maybe could do in a major league run environment. And so, like Jackie Robinson played in the Negro Leagues, but then also got to play in the majors. So I don't have him in here. Satchel Paige only got to pitch in the majors when he was like, I think in his 50s or 60s. So he gets to be on the team. Yeah, so Prime Satchel Paige is going to be super fun to bring in. And so that's why some of the players you might be expecting might be missing here. And then I'm always open to suggestions. So, the next time we do this, the Tuesday before the sim, I will be looking at the roster and building it for the sim, or rebuilding it, or refurbishing it. Um, Anyone can come into those streams and suggest names and seasons. I'm definitely open to that. Yeah, well, so that's where the data set, Comey, is definitely challenging, because if you read the accounts, right, the accounts there are accounts available from when they first started playing. Sometimes the data though isn't there or wasn't robust enough until they're kind of well into their careers. And so we ran into that with Jose Mendez. Who else do we run into that with? Smokey Joe Williams, according to BREF, he didn't exist during the peak season I wanted to. That I read about his 1914 season. And so there are a bunch of players we ran into with that. So we're going to do the best we can. And the best we can is now much better than it was in OOTP 25 or even in OOTP 26, because the data's gotten better. OOTP is now observing what MLB put forth partway through the OOTP 26 cycle, which is that NeL stats will be treated like MLB stats. And so I'm hoping that this sim just gets better and more fun each year that we revisit it. So I can't remember if the raid came in before or after I showed this, but this is the TXT file that we'll be using to import the players into the game. So I use this spreadsheet because it helps me fill out a roster, and then I can then create this column that concatenates the player ID, a comma, the year, a comma, and the destination team. And then I just copy and paste that into a TXT file. This is the format you need to upload into OOTP. That's why I have this interim step.
Why do you keep following me around?
Granby Locks, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. So for anyone who, only plays base game to, simulate seasons or to go forward from 2026 do multi-season saves, or only plays Perfect Team, hopefully I'll be showing you some stuff that you didn't know the game could do or hadn't done before. It'll help you enjoy the game even more. So the first thing we'll do is use this file to import all these players at once into 2025. And the reason I use 2025 is it's the most recent season with ratings based on statistics. I prefer that over ratings based on projections, which is what we would get in this version of the game for 2026 MLB season. So I'm always like a couple seasons behind. Or my season is always 2 years behind the number of the OOTP version. So in OOTP 27, I'm running in 2025. In OOTP 26, we ran in 2024, and so on. All right, so if you're in commissioner mode, you'll have this actions pull down menu. We're in the free agency menu. The way I usually get there is the manager pull down, GM and manager actions, sign a free agent. It was pointed out to me that if you're not running a team at the time, you can't use this because this will be grayed out. And then Smiley Face Jane told me that you can go to MLB reports and info, I think, and then you go to free agents there too. This is a path you can use whether you're owning managing a team or not. So that was really helpful. So you go to actions, pull down, create a fictional player. This is what we use when we play our creator roster games. And then import historical players is what we do for stuff like today. So we pull them from the historical database. Up here you can enter players one at a time. You can't specify a destination, right? Just a player and the year. And you have to do them one at a time. And if you see, you'll see how long it takes to run. Whether you're importing 26 or I think in our case 31 or so players, or one at a time, it's not that much longer. So rather than doing that 20, 28, 30, 40 times, we're just going to use this file one time. So here's the file I created earlier. It's a Steam Sim in OOTP27. I did a test earlier.
Why do you keep following me around?
SGJ2920, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. We want our ratings based on real stats. This is the thing I mentioned earlier that OOTP Developments gave us. I was doing a thing with 1996 Brady Anderson, and he should have come in with 80 power, around 80 power, because he had 50 home runs. He was coming with 50 power, so I reported it as a bug. And the response was, oh, that's not a bug, that's because it's a blend of 1995, 1996, and 1997. And I replied, what? I didn't know that's how the import worked. I assumed I was getting the season I wanted. But it did explain why a lot of my imports did not perform as well as I was hoping they would. And so I asked, can we get a single season import? And within a month and a half, OOTP Developments gave us this new menu where you can decide if you want a single year import, a 3-year blended import, or a 5-year blended import. And so we always use 1 year because we do a lot of research to decide what season we want to bring in. I don't want to undo that at the very end by bringing in a blended season that takes away from the season we want. Fielding ratings. Now this one, you can make an argument for any of these options. Imported season gives you the most fidelity to real life. 3-year period gives you a little more flexibility. And then entire career gives you the most flexibility. Usually for these kinds of sims, we use entire career just to give ourselves the most roster flexibility. But occasionally that means some of this defensive seasons that you might expect to be really good come in a little nerfed. But overall, I think it's worth it. So we're going to go entire career. Pitcher stamina, I always use imported season. And the best examples for why I do that are like John Smoltz or Dennis Eckersley. If you're bringing a reliever Smoltz, you want reliever Smoltz stamina. If you're bringing a starter Smoltz, you want starter stamina. And then for these, this is the kind of levels at which players get nerfed for having small sample size. I usually take these way down. Normally I'm not importing small sample size players anyway, but with the issues with data availability for some of these Negro League players, I am going to take it down just in case we're pulling. It ends up we pull from a season where there wasn't a ton of data available. Oh, and I forgot to do the thing I said I had to do. We have to change the abbreviation of our team. So we're going to go to league settings, under functions, there's edit league structure. And so for the Mets, we just have to change the abbreviation to franchise time machine because that's what the data file's set up for. So now when we go back and do this import, it'll put them into the Mets roster. And if you wanted to say NYM again, we can go back and change it too. All right, so upload the file again. One year, peak season, entire career, imported season. Yeah, everything looks good. It's going to chew on it for a little while. Now, if you import one player at a time, it still takes about the same amount of time, except you have to do it 35 times in our case. Did we have 35 players? We had 36, so who is missing? That's interesting. Let's figure out who's missing. A lot of times it's my mistake. Like I will have typed in the player ID incorrectly or something. Flash quick sold the Jimmy Rollins and got a variant Jim Cott because of it. Wait, are you talking about the LE Jimmy Rollins? And when you say you quick sold it, does that mean you got 25 perfect points because it's a bronze? Or do you mean you sold it quickly, like for whatever was going for at the time? Okay, okay. You sold it quickly, but you didn't quick sell it. You didn't pull a Cavicom, who famously quick sold a very expensive card on launch day. And there is a clip of it that's amazing. Yeah, I was scared too. I was like, yeah, I forget what version of Perfect Team was, but it was before I started playing Perfect Team, so I wasn't familiar. But I could still tell from the context of the clip that it was clearly a very valuable card. It was like a Derek Jeter card on launch. It was like very expensive, and he quick sold it by mistake. Yeah, Cavicom is great. He is how I start my Sunday mornings. Every Sunday, Cavicom streams his playoff teams in the current version of OTP and the previous version. And if the game is still running, the version before that. There's like a few week window where he'll be streaming playoffs from 3 versions of the game at the same time. It's a lot of fun. He is a very entertaining streamer. His chat is really funny, and the whole thing is a lot of fun to watch. Almost every Sunday, definitely must watch, especially if you're new to the game. Super fun to watch. Okay, so let's compare this list. Now, my list is in position order, so it's going to be a little harder to do this. Let's just go alphabetical, and let's just see. I've got Josh Gibson, check. Buck Leonard, check. Newt Allen, check. Ray Dandridge, yes. John Henry Lloyd. You know what? It's more likely to come from the bottom of the roster, I think, where we had harder time finding players. So let me start there. Ted Radcliffe. Ted Radcliffe, check. Verdell Mathis, check. Dave Barnhill. Dave Barnhill, check. Ooh, a 5-star Dave Barnhill, nice. John Donaldson, check. Leroy Matlock, check. Dan Bankhead, who has a fun perfect team card, check. Bingo DeMoss, check. Judy Johnson, check. Oh, you know what? I realized I didn't answer Flash's question. So, look, you definitely didn't get as much as you could have gotten if you held on to it and sold it later. But if you're saying because you sold it at the time you did, and then you used those surfer points to buy packs, and then you end up getting a variant Jim Cott because of it, I mean, how valuable the variant is to you is just going to depend on like how you're using it. I only play tournaments. I don't care about my league team. So like if I had gotten like a really great silver or bronze variant, maybe it would have been worth it. But yeah, so if you feel good about it, that's all that matters. Especially if you weren't going to be playing that, Jimmy Rollins anyway, because you don't play bronze tournaments, then yeah, like you're way better off having a card you're going to play. I think that's the bottom line. Is like, even if you might have left some perfect points on the table, if you end up with a card you're going to play versus a card you're not going to play, then I think you're better off. Willard Brown, check. Pete Hill. All right, Pete Hill is the one who's missing. Pete Hill is missing. I have Hill P99, which is a different format. Some of these NeL players still have a different format. So let me open BREF and let's see. Why did Pete Hill not import well? Part of the problem is he only has stats from 1920 to 1925. He played much longer than that. Oh, I put Hill P and it's Hill PE. All right, so I'm going to update that both in my spreadsheet and in my text file. So if I use this text file again, it'll be correct. And then what we can do here is this is where we can use that single season import. I could even play it off and say, I messed this up on purpose so I can show you how to do the single season import. But that is clearly not true. But you can go back to this import. Sorry, this is the creator roster. We can go back to the single season import. And up here you can write Hill PE99. Usually it starts at 01 for the major leagues. But for NeL and non-major league players, it starts with 99 for some reason. And this is just an artifact of, at one point, they were not considered major league stats. And rather than BREF going back, I guess, and redoing their database, they have left these players with a different naming convention. Okay, the season I wanted for Pete Hill was 1911. But as I mentioned, BREF only has data for 1920 to 1925. So, it is a mystery how Pete Hill will import. But we're going to try. 1911. Everything else is going to be the same. Now, he's going to appear in the free agency database. Okay, he imported a 2.5 star in 1911. Now, here's an example of what I might do with him is I might just replace his current numbers with his peak numbers and say, okay, now we have a peak Pete Hill. Yeah, Laptop Hound is a great streamer. I'm a base game streamer, but everything I know about playing Perfect Team, I learned from watching Laptop Hound, Don't Cut the D-Block Dragon, Dr. Danastic, who used to do a lot more Perfect Team stuff. I used to watch him do his gold dead ball rosters, and I learned a lot about dead ball roster building from him. And then, then as you play more, you kind of develop your own thoughts and approaches, but they are the ones who got me started. So yeah, Laptop Hound for sure. Let me give Laptop Hound a shout out. All right, so we do have an option for Pete Hill to make him more playable. Now I actually had him on my pitching staff, so let me see what his pitching ratings look like. Yeah, he came in with no pitching ratings, so that's a bummer. Because oh, no, he wasn't even my right fielder. Who was I thinking of? There are several of these players who are two-way players, and I'm hoping that both parts of them come in. Like, let's check out Martin Dehigo. He's one I'm concerned about not coming in well. Oh wait, first let's get Pete Hill onto our team. So one really great thing you can do with Editor is you don't have to offer them a contract and wait for them to show up on your team after signing your contract. You can just go to Editor and just change what team they're on and just make them a New York Met. So boom, now he's on the Mets. Okay. So you can see some of these players did not import as expected. Dan Bankhead came in as a 2.5 star. Andy Cooper, 2.5 star. Ray Dandridge, 3 star. Bingo DeMoss, 2 star. Pete Hill, 2.5 star. John Henry Lloyd, 2.5 star. Verdell Mathis, 2.5 star. Ted Radcliffe, 2.5 star. Dick Redding, 3 stars. So we have some, Mule Suttle's clearly not a 3-star player. So we have some fixing to do. But other than that, everyone looks pretty good. So Dan Bankhead, I wanted a 1941 Dan Bankhead. It is a 1941 game. But when I look at in BREF, Harry PHX, thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you do end up wanting to play any of our community games, you will have access to a discounted subscriber community channel redemption, and you'll get your channel points faster from Twitch. So that's just something I do to thank people for their support as a subscriber. Okay, so for Dan Bankhead, but yeah, thank you so much for the support. Appreciate that. 1941. So he ended up with a pretty small sample size. Let me show you what I'm looking at here in BREF. See if I can get this ad out of the way. So 1941, he had a 197 ERA plus, a .837 WHIP in what we would generally consider a small sample size. Again, just the availability of the data. I would say that this profile does not reflect a .837 WHIP or a 197 ERA plus. And the challenge with him is he has a higher potential number for stuff, but I don't think that's going to be enough to get him above 2.5 stars. So let's try it out. So one way you can improve a pitcher is you can get them to their potentials, right? So his fastball is below potential at 261. Let's just change that to the 450. The slider is below potential. Let's move that up to the peak. The curveball is below peak. Let's move that up. The changeup is below peak. Let's move that up. His movement is actually above peak, so of course we're going to leave that alone. The control and BABIP are also above peak. But now his stuff is improved to a 50. Still not great. But if we go to scouting, let's see if that 2.5 stars improved. He's now a 3.5 star player, which is better, but still not great. He's probably not going to make the roster, which is unfortunate. But this is why I imported extra players. All right, so we've done Dan Bankhead. Andy Cooper came in as a 2.5 star. Again, there's not a lot of potential here. The season I was looking for Andy Cooper was 1925. Let me see if I can find his 1925 in BREF. Okay, Andy Cooper, now he does have a pretty good historical record in BREF. By good, I mean it's pretty lengthy. In 1925, he went 12-2, 170 ERA plus, 1.103 WHIP. But I would say this profile does not reflect that. And if I go into editor, there's not a ton of room for improvement. He's already above or at peak for most of this stuff. And so I don't know why he's not coming in very good. Now, one thing we could do is if you look at his, well, let's see what his in-game real life stats are. Yeah, he doesn't have any in-game real life stats. So let's go back to BREF. And he has another good season where he led the league in WHIP in 1923. So we can try that season. Let's see if that's any better. '1923 is the season we're going to try. And that's his batting. So let's look at his pitching. Yeah, still not very good. Still a 3-star. So I don't know that there's much we can do here. There aren't potential numbers we can go to. And, so with him, I don't know. He's not coming in so bad that it looks like it's the old problem where, they're not treating NEL stats like MLB stats. It could just be that there was not enough data to have a meaningful profile in the OOTP database. So Bankhead probably not going to make the team. Cooper probably not going to make the team. Ray Dandridge also came in pretty low. Now we could boost his power 9 with potential, but let's see if there's a better season we can import. Sorry, I'm a little bad at switching back and forth between screens. That's what I was looking at. We have a little room to improve with the potential numbers for power and eye, but that's not going to be enough to boost him significantly. So let's see if there's a different season we can try bringing in. See if it works a little bit better. All right, so I wanted to bring in his 34 season. He had a 193 OPS plus. He hit 424. Now his 37 season is also pretty good. So let's try importing his 37 season. And let's see if that makes it any better. So I'm trying to show everybody like some tricks you can use to try to get to a peak version of a player if the database isn't cooperating. Okay, now this version is better. It is 3.5 star. Still not, I think, on par with the other players we're bringing in, but a little better, maybe more playable. I did have him in as was he my starting third baseman? Yeah, he was my starting third baseman. So that's a little rough to have our starting third baseman feel a little nerfed. We also know that he played some shortstop, so I'm going to give him some shortstop eligibility as well. So we do that under editor. Fielding ratings are under batting ratings. And all I'm going to do is I'm not going to mess with his attributes at all. We're going to leave his range, error, arm, turned over place all the same. I'm just going to give him experience at shortstop, and now he has a rating at shortstop. So this will give him a fighting chance to make the roster. I would hope to be our starting third baseman, but that might not be the case anymore. But I think we can leave him on the left. Oh, we have to actually add him to the team. So this Dandridge, I'm going to move over here, and we're going to bring in the one from the free agency pool. So this one we're going to add. And also to differentiate from the other one, we'll give him a year, 1937. And we're going to do that for all the players. I forgot to do that right off the bat. It helps us find them in like leaderboards and stuff, and it helps us find the version we want when we're doing stuff like this. Okay, so then all right, so let's keep going down the list. Dandridge, slightly improved. Bingo DeMoss came in very poorly. I was very disappointed. And only playing second base. He's one of the ones I looked at last night. I don't know that there's going to be a way to salvage him. But I'm going to look into it for the next time we do this, because I do think a good Bingo DeMoss would be a lot of fun. Now, John Donaldson, Lisa Loves Biology, who's a regular in our late night stream, she found some really good articles that kind of confirmed what I had found in my research, that he was a stud pitcher, and the stats she found were incredible, like the number of wins, number of strikeouts, but the record in BREF is very different, and so he did not import as well as we had hoped, which is too bad. The article, the main article she found was really awesome. Let me see if I can find that link, and I'll post it in the chat. Let's see. I think she might have put it in the chat when we were streaming, so I don't know if I have it. Oh no, here it is. It's still open in my browser. So this is the article that Lisa Loves Biology sent us. So it talks about how his career stats: 413 wins, 5,081 strikeouts, 14 no hitters, 2 perfect games, 22 strikeouts in a game on August 14th, 23 strikeouts in a game in 1934. That's 20 years later, by the way. 30 strikeouts in an 18-inning game in 1915. But he's just not in the historical record in BREF to that extent. He is in there, but not to the extent that that article would have you understand. Right. So, what were the numbers? 5,081 strikeouts, 413 wins. This is what BREF has. BREF has 2 seasons of pitching. 6-3, 0-2 when he's 29 and when he's 30. Now they do have him leading the league in FIP and home runs per 9, but then that's the season I tried to pull, which is in 1920 Donaldson, and it's just not there. He's just not there. I used to do a lot of reading about baseball players and baseball history, and I did some NeL saves in OOTP before I started streaming, and I just like reading about baseball, and now more recently like watching videos about baseball. So, but even with that, I've learned a lot playing Perfect Team. So I think Paul Sporer does a good job of bringing in players and highlighting seasons that like I didn't know were as good as they were. That's the biggest thing. It's like some of these players, like I knew their names, I knew they existed, but I didn't realize how good some of them were. Yeah, Comey, exactly. His name is one that would come up a lot when talking about NeL pitchers. Like he was definitely on the short list. But this article really highlights like the extent of his legend. So unfortunately, even though he is, according to these sources, one of the best pitchers of all time. Now he is a 4-star pitcher. I mean, I still think he'll make the roster, but he's not the pitcher that I was hoping he would be based on the accounts I had read. And he's already at his peak potential, I think, based on the data. He's actually above it on stuff, and he's above it on these other ratings. So we can't really improve him without being kind of arbitrary about it. Yeah, Perry PH. I mean, hopefully you felt this way from other streamers too, but definitely in my stream. I mean, ask as many questions as you want. Like, part of why I do this is I like this game so much. I like baseball history so much. I just try to share that with people. So if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. And chat is usually very good about answering questions too. So. Oh, so you started learning players from MLB the show. Yeah, I'm all for anything that helps people learn more about, this sport that we all love. And like I said, even though I was pretty well versed in, like I was the kid who used to read the baseball encyclopedia on the bus rides to our baseball games. and so I'm a big baseball history nerd, and even I've learned a lot from Perfect Team. So there's always more to learn. Yeah, the Baseball Reference bullpen. Yeah, there's lots of great resources out there, and there are a lot of really good baseball history YouTubers. So I used to do a lot more reading about, historic baseball players. Now I'm doing a lot more like watching videos. That's amazing, Comey. Hank Aaron hit the third home run to center field bleachers of the Polo Grounds yesterday in 1962. It came one day after Lou Brock became the second player to do that. 3 times ever, and 2 of them are back to back. That's funny. And then at the time, they were probably like, oh, now this is going to become a regular thing. So we're going to keep this John Donaldson. I did want to highlight him, though, because this version just does not do justice to everything I've read about him. And thanks to Lisa Lesbaja for sharing that link. That link is just fantastic. The article is great. Yeah, Comey also streams, so he's one of our newer OTP affiliates. And I really enjoyed his interview on Ezra Denny's OTP After Talk. So let me give a shout out to a Comey of Errors. There you go. I got it right that time. Leon Dave, 5-star. I'm glad Dahigo came in as a 5-star. He is a person who did not used to import very well. So credit to OOTP Developments for now making sure he imports well. Now, look, his pitching profile, pretty good, right? Not bad. But then look at his batting profile. 80 power. Bam. Potential I, 65. BABIP, 65. Potential 70. This is a stud hitter who also happens to be a stud pitcher. It's not at Shohei levels, but it's pretty close. 75 stuff, 60 P BABIP, right? 50 HRI in control, and then 80 power to go with it. And it's not just power, 65 BABIP, potential 65 I. This is a great hitter with a great arm. So I'm glad he now imports very well. His past versions were terrible. So that's great. Josh Gibson, also one who I have a slide somewhere where I use it to report to OOTP as a bug, because I thought it was a bug. I was like, Josh Gibson is not importing correctly. His import profile was full of like red and orange bars, and it should have been all blue and green and teal. And oh, here it is. I think I found it. Yeah, so at the time I was trying to import 1933 Josh Gibson for a sim I was doing. It was a sim of all-time best rookie seasons, I think. And on the left was how he imported into 2023 or 2024, whatever season I was playing. But if I went back into his season in the Negro Leagues, this is what you saw. And I was like, I want this. I want this blue and green and teal. And it wasn't OP26 because I think it was after MLB had announced that NeL stats would treat as MLB stats. But to be fair to OTP, that happened while OOTP26 was already out, right? It had already been coded and released, and the database was set, and so it was already out in the wild. So I was like, okay, all right. So this is because that version is still treating this as almost like a minor league. So when it imports this profile on the right, it nerfs it to account for the difference in leagues. So that, to OOTP's credit, that has changed completely. So now this Josh Gibson, this is a different Josh Gibson. It's 1943, but he is importing as a stud hitter. 85 BABIP, 80 power, 70 I. So just a huge bat. So Pete Hill. This is the one that we were just having a hard time with. So what I'm going to do with Pete Hill is I'm just going to replace all his current numbers with peak numbers. That'll get us closer to a peak Pete Hill. So his peak BABIP was 557. His peak avoid K. To be fair, I'm going to stick with all the peak numbers. His avoid K is actually going to come down a little bit. His gap is going to go up about 30 points, almost 40 points, 389. His power is going to go up about 40 points. This is on a 600 scale. And his eye is going to go up a lot to 427. So now, if we go to his scouting, his profile won't update yet, but his scouting report will. He is now a 5-star right fielder. So that's good. We have a 5-star Pete Hill. Yeah, no, I understand. My other streams are hard for a lot of people to watch. Comey Vera says he'll be doing a lot more base game coming up, random debut leagues. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and it's good. It's good that we have so many streamers that do a variety of different things. Whether it's lots of different kinds of perfect team streamers and lots of different kinds of base game streamers. Yes, that Josh Gibson import that I showed you from OOTP26 does bat like a Bob Gibson. That is a good comparison. So now what I'm wondering is how can I get his star rating updated in this main view? You know what sometimes works? It seems silly, but if I save this and exit, a lot of times when we come back, like the position rate, the position settings will have changed, and I wonder if the scouting numbers will have changed. Pete Hill. Nope, he's still rating to 2.5 star. I might have to have him re-scouted. Even though I have scouting. Oh, you know what? I can't re-scout because I have scouting turned off. So that's the thing that's frustrating. When your scouting is turned off, your ratings are supposed to be 100% accurate, but these star ratings are lagging for some reason. Does the position change update it? I don't know. That's worth trying. Let's try putting him in as a right fielder. And then let's exit out and come back. Nope, he's still a 2.5 star. Alright, well, at least we know he's now a 5-star. Alright, who else do we need to check on? Judy Johnson, a little low with 3.5 stars, but this might just be an era difference. He's very much a contact heavy, low power, low eye guy, and just might not be what the computer values in 2025. But there are a few potential numbers we can move up to. The other thing with Judy Johnson is his value is going to be in his positional flexibility, and this profile is not reflecting that. So we may go in and give him a little more position eligibility too. Because he played third base, shortstop. Those were the only ones before the slash line. So BREF has a slash line, and before the slash line means he played more than 10 games that position. After the slash line means he played fewer than 10 games. But I do see in his BREF short and second base, so we're going to give him those as well. So a few things we'll do with Judy Johnson. We're going to boost his ratings to the potential, so his gap can go up to 427. His BABIP's going to come down a bit to 492. His avoid K will come down a bit to 425. His gap went up to 427. His powers can go up to 406. And his I will go up to 355. And then his fielding, we're going to give him second base and shortstop. So now when we go to his scouting, he's now a full 4-star instead of a 3.5 star. That's a bit of an improvement. Maybe enough to keep him on the roster. Pete Hill, Judy Johnson, Buck Leonard, John Henry Lloyd. First base, shortstop. There's not a lot we can do here. He was also reputationally known to be a tremendous fielder, which is kind of reflected here. But it's unfortunate that he's only coming in as a 2.5 star. He's had perfect team cards, I think, as Pop Lloyd as well. So let's not. I typed that in wrong. Added an extra P by mistake, or an extra O by mistake. So it's not that. It's Pop Lloyd. Okay, fielding wise, he needs to have shortstop, first base, and third base added. Third base, shortstop, second base. Okay, that might help a little bit. The bat's still pretty weak, especially by modern standards. I was hoping he'd be my starting shortstop, but doesn't look like it. He's still reading as a 2.5 star. He may not actually make the roster. Do we have any other shortstops? We have Willie Wells. Dandridge can now play short, right? Yeah, okay. But he's also my third baseman. We may have to look for another infielder to add. Okay, Buck Leonard came in 5 star. Bismacky came in 5 star. Verdell Mathis. Again, with the pitchers, it's pretty hard. We just may be stuck here. Laurie Matlock came in as a 4 star. I thought he'd come in higher, but this, I think, is just a difference in profile type. He is not a big stuff pitcher, and that's what the AI likes. Let me see if I can find a better season, though, for Laurie Matlock. And if anyone wants to suggest another shortstop to consider bringing in, because I think shortstop might end up being a problem here. 1933 was by far his best season in BREF. So we can try that. Actually, 35 was the best because his whip was better, but we can try 33. So we brought in the 35. Let's try 33. See if that helps at all. Oh, I reopened it, so I have to reset all these things. Fielding ratings based on his entire career. Pitcher stamina, imported season. 10, 10, 5, 10, 5. Okay, let's see how the 33 Matlock comes in. Better. He's a 4 star. What is the version we have now? Oh, it's still a 4 star. He's got, this one has better home run suppression and stuff. He's got 15 more stuff PBAP and home run suppression versus 10 less control. That's for modern era, that's a trade-off I'll take. So we'll send the current one to the reserve roster. We're going to add this one. Or actually, we can't add him yet, but let's give him 1933. We get a slightly better, more modern Laurie Matlock profile, so we'll add him. He still might not make the team, but it's good to have a better version of him. Ted Radcliffe, again, not a ton we can do here except potentially look for a better season. If they had, his potential control is a little higher, so we can boost that a little bit. He's in BREF more as a batter. That's the other thing. Here are his BREF. pitching stats. So I brought in the 1930 version. That's the one I wanted. And it does check out. 168 OPS plus or ERA plus, 1175 WHIP. Willie Wells is on the roster. Beckwith and Home Run Johnson are good ideas, Comey. Thank you for that. I'll look into bringing. I think Willie Wells is going to be spread pretty thin at this point, so we'll probably need to bring in another shortstop. Yeah, the problem with all these other seasons is none of them are as good as that 1930 season. So I think we might be stuck without a good Ted Radcliffe. So he will almost certainly be on the reserve. Oh, okay. Whatever I did with Jose Mendez, it looks like it worked because he is coming in as a 5-star now. That's great. Okay. This is a really good pitching profile. Has a little bit of gap power, a little bit of eye, a little bit of BABIP too. But yeah, okay, this is great. This is in 1909, right? Yeah, all right. This is the year that anecdotally he went 44-2. All right, Satchel Paige 5-star, awesome. Dick Redding 3-star. I think we have enough pitchers where I can move Redding over here. Mule Suttles is kind of a disappointment, but he has these potential numbers we can go to, which is helpful. So his BABIP will go up to 469. His avoid K will actually go down a little to 275. His gap will go up to 475. His power will go up to 505. And his patience and I will go up to 432. That should help quite a bit. Yeah, that is a pretty good profile now. So 3 stars. He is now scouting as a 4-star, which makes sense because that was his potential. He's actually even better than this, but this is, for the purpose of what we're doing, I think it's pretty good. So 4-star Mule Suttles. Willie Wells, we do have as a 5-star shortstop, so he will be our starting shortstop. Smokey Joe Williams, again, a player with tons of history, tons of anecdotal, just legend, but not importing very well. Like, even if I boost him, he's still going to be a 3.5 star because that's his potential. And I think he has a ridiculously low number of seasons in BREF, which is part of the problem. So Smokey Joe Williams, aka Cyclone Williams. Yeah, this is all that BREF has for him. And so I tried to, let's see, the year I wanted was 1914. 1914 is not even the radar here. His BREF record starts in 1923 when he's 37 years old. Right, I wanted a 1914 version where he's, 28 years old in his peak. So we can bring in like a 1929, but he's 43 years old at that point. So I was hoping there'd be something, and there is, right? At least there's something in 1914. So BREF didn't have anything from 1914. He has this in 1914. What does his batting look like, I wonder? Yeah, it's like below mediocre. So, pretty disappointing, Smokey Joe Williams. we'll boost him as much as we can based on the kind of approach I've laid out, but it's again it's not going to even get him an additional star. It'll just make him a little more playable. Oh, there's a second. I mean, there's usually a non MLB page. If you whisper me that link, I can see it. I've got my auto mod set pretty high, so it won't let you send a link. But if you whisper it to me, I will pull it up. So yeah, his scouting will not have changed. Oh no, wait, his scouting did go up to 4.5 stars now. So he is reading a lot better with this. Okay, so let's see. So he's better now. Neil Suttle's better. Johnny Wright was a disappointment because he had great stats the season I was looking at. I was looking at 1943. Let's pull up 1943 Johnny Wright. We just got a good Johnny Wright card too in Perfect Team. Yeah, 1943. This is a fun stat line. 1943. 1943. 191 ERA plus, 1122 WHIP. Led the league in strikeouts with 99. Not a lot, but for the era, that is a lot. Went 18-3. That's 1943. But he's importing with those stats. He's importing as a 3-star pitcher, which is unfortunate. And I'm looking at his stats, and there aren't many better. There are no better seasons. And I mean, that's a huge. It's 189 innings, which is way more than we usually see from any NEL pitchers. I'm going to try bringing his 1941. That's another good season. It has fewer innings, but who knows? It's worth a try to get a good Johnny Wright. 1941. Yeah, he's still a 3-star. So, unfortunately, I think we're going to be without Johnny Wright. Okay, with the players who were unable to improve, we still have a 29-man roster. Okay, so what does that look like? Matlock and Donaldson are at the bottom of the pitching staff, the back end of the bullpen. We'll probably go 12 or 13 pitchers, so they'll still probably be on the roster. We have 16 batters. If Satchel Pages are number 5, I haven't even looked at that yet, but thank you. That's amazing. That's funny. Yeah, Satchel Pages are number 5. It went Leon Day, Martin Diego, Jose Mendez, Satchel Paige, Bullet Rogan. This Satchel too, the one I brought in, his HRA is kind of low. That's probably why. Yeah, I wonder if I showed him before you got here, but he's got 80 power as a batter. 80 power, 65 BABIP. He's a good hitter. Let me make sure he's set to 2-way also. All right, on the batting side, So Bismacky will be our backup catcher. Josh Gibson starting both ways. Yeah, Cool Papa Bell is another one who didn't import super well. I mean, he imported as a 3.5 star. Oh wait, he's one though. If we do the potential trick, he will become significantly better. So 526, 427. Okay, his contact just went through the roof. His gap. You know what? We're gonna leave these. We're gonna take the highest, the higher of the two. All right. So he's gonna come in better now. Yeah, he's now a 5-star. That contact really helped a lot. Unfortunately, his like stealing ability came in at a 75. His base running came in at a 65. His speed came in at a 65. I was a little surprised at that. But now, is that going to change? Yeah, I think because his star rating has not changed. It's weird because in scouting it's changed, but in his profile it hasn't. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Well, first let me make sure I didn't miss any boosting. So Bismacky is fully there. Everyone's up to their potential. Toriente came in as a 5-star. That's good. Willer Brown came in as a pretty big stud of a left fielder. 5 stars. Oscar Charleston is the man. Oh yeah, we can boost his BABIP a little bit. So Oscar Charleston, Monty Irvin. Oh, he's got a little room for some improvement, so we'll boost him up a little bit. Well, it's not so much that well, I have development off, so they're not going to be trained up. I have development injuries. I have a bunch of stuff turned off because that's just the way we do the Sims, so that mostly so we don't lose players to things like injury, but also so that like the run environment stays stable for the season. So I'm less concerned about that, but I'm also willing to give them experience in positions. I just don't like to change their ratings in positions. Okay, so Monty Irvin's up to a 4.5 star. He does look a lot better now. Chucky Stearns came in pretty good as a 5-star. Big BABIP power guy. Pete Hill now. We've improved him. Okay, so. And we still have 4 too many of these players. Catcher, we're good. Diego playing center and right. He's a 70 in center and a 75 right fielder, in addition to being a stud pitcher. Buck Leonard at first. So we got first covered, seconds covered. If we lose Dandridge, which I think we're probably going to, because he's a 3.5 star. You know, Lloyd's a good defensive sub here. He's also 36 years old. I wonder if we can find a better John Henry Lloyd, Pop Lloyd. Oh wait, we looked already, didn't we? Oh, we didn't find one. Well, we looked for his fielding. His OPS is, what year did I bring in? The problem is he's old in all these profiles. The Pop Lloyd I wanted was from 1921. Oh, it is here. Okay, it is here. It is the one we pulled in. His OPS plus is 135. He has a better OPS plus season in 1923. He's 39 years old at that point, though. Okay, we have a lot of outfielders. We don't have as many infielders. So I think we keep Lloyd as our utility infielder. Willie Wells will start at short. I would just like to have a better third baseman. Dandridge is a little underwhelming. Judy Johnson isn't bad, but he is a... Wait, why is he still under potential? Oh, because we have to look at his scouting. Okay, he is coming as a 4-star. That's not so bad. So we have some tough decisions to make here in the outfield and the infield. I think Dandridge might be a cut here. Yeah, Pete Hill did have center and right. Does he not have that now? Yeah, Pete Hill center and right. Actually, we have no right fielders. I have no problem giving center fielders right field ability, though. So we're going to give all these guys right field ability. If you're good enough to be a 131 center fielder, you can play right field in my book. Like, you can't tell me Willie Mays couldn't play right field just because he only plays center field every year. Yeah, and well, I did import career fielding, so at least in the database they didn't have right field. Okay, so it didn't change any of the starters. Giving everyone right field ability didn't change any of the starters. Okay, Newt Allen is a second base only. But I guess he is our second baseman. He's backed up by Judy Johnson. Mostly he's backed up by John Henry Lloyd. I guess we'll keep Judy Johnson for the position flexibility. And we'll send Dandridge to the reserve. Yeah, I mean, for the premier defense positions, they're just not going to move them off of that position just because they're the best fielder they have. Right, so that's why Willie Mays plays center. That's why Ozzie Smith plays short only. But I agree with you. There's no reason to believe Ozzie couldn't play second or third, especially second, because I think those middle infield skills translate pretty well. So how many? What's our roster situation now? We're at 28, and we have 13 pitchers. Okay, so Barnhill's in the pen. Dave Brown's in the pen. Ray Brown's in the pen. No, this isn't final. I might tinker with the rotation. I mean, having Bill Foster in the pen seems a little weird. So we have four lefties in the pen, and we only have. I think we do need 13 pitchers for 2025. The one thing that would argue against that is these are all like huge stamina studs. But even then, in 2025, like an 80 stamina guy will still only go like 7 or 8 innings, not 8 or 9 innings. Yeah, so I think we do need 13 pitchers, unfortunately. I think we're pretty outfield heavy, even though I don't know which of these studs to cut. They're all pretty darn good. I mean, we're going to have to do it just based on profiles. I mean, God, who do you cut? I don't even know. I mean, Cool Papa Bell actually comes in rated the worst, I think. No, Pop Lloyd is backing up all the infield spots. His glove is still outstanding, so he'll be a great defense sub who is still going to hit for average. Just won't have any, no pun intended, won't have any pop in his bat. But he is going to be a do-it-all utility infielder for us. Like all the star levels drop at the infield. We just don't have good imports for. Willie Wells is the exception there. Yeah, no, we don't have enough infielders. Actually, we have too many outfielders. I mean, Willard Brown is kind of where I go. He's got the worst eye. He's got the second lowest power. Cool Papa Bell, I think, is our best defensive. He's a 60 in center field. Oh, actually, Willard Brown is better in center field than Cool Papa Bell. I just feel weird cutting Cool Papa Bell. But he's up to a 5-star now. His contact is elite. 60-85. That's an 80 overall. So is Willard Brown's, though. Willard Brown has a little more pop and a little less eye. Yeah, Mule Settles isn't, but he's also our only other first baseman. Oh no, that's not true. That's not true. Yeah, I think we can. I think we can bench Mule Settles. Uh, Let me look at these other outfielders to see if any played first base. Let's look at Willard Brown. Willard Brown did play. Nah, it's all to the right of the slash line though. In one season, he played less than 10 games at first base, so no Willard Brown. Charleston already has first base. How about Monty Irvin? Monty Irvin played third base before the slash line, shortstop, second base, center field, first base. This guy played everywhere. All right, Monty Irvin is going to be our savior. Everywhere he had. Oh, well, now his infield ratings are terrible, so we'll have to boost those up a little bit. But he did play before the slash line first base, and it was his first position in 1950. Um, oh, you know what? No, Monty Irvin is our first cut. The reason why is he got to play in the majors, and he was still very good when he played. So he's going to be our cut, unfortunately. I am playing the. I did say in the pack away form that where I was prioritizing players who didn't get to play in the majors, and he did. Um, so we're gonna cut him. So now I think we're at the right number of players. Yeah, we just have to find someone who can play it. Did Turkey Stearns ever play first base? Yeah, that was my bad. I meant to move Irvin to the backup earlier because of that. Um, and I learned something doing this sim, which is He was still very productive as a Giant when he made it to the majors. Turkey starts. Did you play first base? He did play first base, but it was after the slash line. Still, I think that's enough to give him a little bit of first base. He did play it. We're taking some liberties here, but he did play it. Now, the problem is with max experience, because these are so low, so I'm willing to give him like nominal first base ratings. He won't get turn double play. These are still probably a little high. Yeah, he'll be a 97 first baseman, enough to be a backup. So that'll help. Yeah, so Bucklander's still starting at first, but now he can back him up. Let's see what the depth chart looks like. Did he go... Oh, and Lloyd is still the backup at first. I think because of the fielding. So we'll change that. I think Stern should be the backup at first. Okay, so let's go back to the pitching staff. They've got Leon Day as the number 1. Okay. Bullet Rogan is the number 2. Where's my personal... Oh, I don't have it in the base game. My personal pitching view I don't have in here. Alright, let's just make it real quick. It won't have everything I'm used to seeing, but... Control P-BAP versus lefties, control P-BAP versus righties. I think that's mostly what we're missing. Stuff, HRA, P-BAP control versus lefties. Stuff, HRA, P-BAP control versus righties. Okay. If I don't look at the names and I just look at the ratings, this is my number... This is my number 1. Bullet Rogan is my number 1. Okay. Again, if I'm not looking at the names, I'm just looking at the ratings. This is my number 2. Jose Mendez. Then Diego. Then Page. Then Day. Yeah, Page. All right, which page did I bring in? 1944. Again, part of this is the data that was available. Because in 1944, he's already 36, 37 years old. Is there a better page that has stats in the system? Right, so like I'm looking at a 280 ERA plus season with a .872 whip, a 224 ERA plus season with a .82 6 whip. I chose the season where he had a 1.01 ERA, a 3.39 ERA plus. Let's try importing 1933. He's 26 years old. He's maybe closer to his peak. Ooh. Yeah, that's the stuff right there. 7 pitches, 3 of them in the blue. Okay, this is the one we're going to use. This is the Satchel Pager's going to use. 29-year-old Satchel. Okay, now now that's Satchel's number 1. I would also have a number 1. Then I have Bullet Rogan. Then I would go Mendez, Digo, Day. And I would actually let Digo DH when he's pitching with that 80 power. Okay, so then on the bullpen, I like going 2 stoppers and then a closer on top. Problem is, a lot of these guys don't have great HRA. We're going to go Foster Barnhill as our 2 stoppers. You know what? Barnhill's going to be the closer. Dave Brown's going to be the other stopper. And for setup, we're going to go Matlock and I guess Smokey Joe. I'll go Donaldson, Hilton Smith, or Ray Brown. Hilton Smith. Ray Brown in long relief. Okay. All right, Josh Gibson definitely starting at catcher both ways. First base, Buck Leonard both ways. Newt Allen, Judy Johnson, Willie Wells, John Henry Lloyd's backing up everybody. The question is in the outfield. Are Pete Hill's ratings not showing up either? No, they are. It's just his star number is still messed up. Sorry, I'm going to catch up on chat real quick here. Judy should have. I think I checked Judy Johnson. He did not have first base in his record. Now, he probably did, and it's just not in the BREF record, but. I mean, if you go by what happened during the barnstorming, everyone should probably have every rating. But it was more important to get an outfielder that could have some first base because we don't have enough infielders. Oh, Perry, that sucks. Someone spoofed your debit card and used it. I hope you got... oh, I'm still on BREF. Okay. So... I guess the big question is, should Willard Brown be starting? And I think the answer is no. I think, though, Josh Gibson maybe shouldn't be batting 8th. The problem is everyone's so good. I think he and Wells should switch spots, and then he should move up to 5. Buck Leonard can move to 6. Leonard versus Gibson. Yeah, we'll have Gibson batting 5th. Maybe even ahead of Stearns. I think the problem is Newt Allen probably should not be batting. Second. Newt Allen should be like back of the lineup kind of profile on this team. So we'll move Oscar Charleston up to 2. Stearns, Gibson, Leonard, Wells, Torriente, Johnson, Allen, something like that. And then versus lefties, the thing is, none of these guys are splitty because they didn't have the data to do a lot of splittiness calculations. So a lot of them are going to be like pretty even splits. Although Pete Hill is actually slightly better VR. But no one's like a lot worse VL. Like even though Charleston and Stearns are lefties, because there's not good split data, they're still good versus lefties. So there's not a platoon that makes a ton of sense here. So maybe we just copy the same lineup. Gibson, Leonard, Wells, Torriente. Yeah. Normally I set these up to if start or tire, but I'm okay letting the computer set those. Yeah, two different Hall of Fame satchels, just like there's 2 different Hall of Fame Barry Bondses, skinny Bonds and large-headed Bonds. Okay, I think this is it. This is what we're gonna run. We're gonna run default. Now let's run sabermetric. Especially because Cool Papa Bell isn't the speedster that I would normally have expected. We're going to set this pretty high because our bench is as good as our starter, especially in the outfield. So we'll set this like 88-ish. We'll set this at 70. Okay, this is what we're running with. So if you're waiting to do your pack giveaway form until you knew what the roster looked like, this is what we were running. If you want to screenshot these real quick, feel free. These are the batters. These are the pitchers. It's hard to say which is better. The infield is the weakest part of the team. The outfield and the starting pitchers are probably the strongest parts of the team. So I did save it, and then we're going to save it as a quick start. Yeah, there should be a fun Juneteenth sim. It's going to cut off Juneteenth, but that's okay. All right, so how are we coming on the pack giveaway form here? Now that the rosters are in, I'm assuming we're going to get a few more entrants. So I am going to push ads and BRB. I need to refill my water and stuff. So when we come back, we will close the form, take a look at the guesses, and we will run the sim. All right, see you all in a few minutes. Good luck, everybody. All right, we are back. Sorry for the extended BRB, but I think it's a good thing. Usually he's pretty picky about where he pees, but he peed right away, so I think he was holding that in. All right. Do we have anyone else who's about to submit a pack giveaway form? I don't want to leave anyone out because I closed the form too soon. Oh, didn't I say I had to do a draft? did I miss it? I think I might have missed it. Hold on. Let me see. Let me switch accounts real quick. I think I might have missed it. It's a speed. Yeah, I missed it. Live speed run. Congratulations to the two people who are going to beat my gym unknowns. That was my mistake. I always think I'm going to have time to do stuff during or after streaming, and I'm always wrong. Always wrong. You would think I would learn. All right, so let's go back to here, I guess. All right, anyone else? If not, I'm going to go ahead and close the forum. Let's see. Perry, Comey, you've been in the chat. Do you want to participate? Ollie North, do you want to participate in this pack giveaway? All right, Comey's finishing his. I'll leave it open for Comey. Who else has been chatting who might want to play? Perry PHX, Ollie North. That's been most of it for the last hour or so. Let me know, because I don't want to cut anyone off if they were going to submit. See what? Welcome in. Thank you for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. It's not Thursday, so you weren't doing your weekly tournament. There's no PTCS this weekend, so you weren't doing that. I'm trying to guess what you might have been doing. Maybe just roster updates and analyzing perfect team data. Here's what we're doing to commemorate Juneteenth. We're bringing a team of Negro League legends into the 2025 Major League season. We're taking over the Mets, and we're going to see how they do in a 2025 run environment. Oh, BD Cable, you're very welcome. I'm always happy to be the base game player who has the upset against somebody. I am pretty good at the live drafts, though. I will, especially in PT26. In PT27, I've not been as good, but it is the live PDs where I probably have the best chance of upsetting somebody. Also because I don't have to have cards. The cards are given to me. All right, Comey of Errors is in. We just should get a bunch of raiders, but I think in the interest of time, I am going to have to start the sim. So here we go. We're going to close the form. And let's take a look at the guesses. I think making the playoffs is a gimme. That's a free question for everybody. I can't imagine this team not making the playoffs. All right, there are 4 of you. Thank you for participating. Everyone thinks they'll make the playoffs. Everyone thinks they'll win the NL East. everyone thinks they'll make it to the World Series. And everyone thinks they'll win the World Series. Wow. All right, everyone thinks they'll be a Cy Young Award winner, and most of you think they'll be an MVP. All right, it's going to come down to the win total guess, and then the second place questions should be interesting. All right, let's see how this team does. I did save it, and I saved it as a quick start. We'll go to the standings, and we'll sim to opening day so we can see the preseason predictions. All right, it's opening day. It is just going to be the Tokyo series to start the season. But if we go to MLB reports and info preseason predictions, AL looks pretty normal. 981 runs scored is the most. 3.78 ERA is the lowest. And let's look at the National League. 142 wins projected for the New York Mets. And you know what? Let's rename the team actually. First, let's go back and change the abbreviation. It was Franchise Time Machine for the import. We're going to change it back to NYM for the Mets. But we will call this the Juneteenth NeL All-Stars. So now you just go to any other team and then go back to your team. It should be renamed. There we go. So now in the standings view, there we go. Juneteenth NeL All-Stars. I don't know if the report will be back updated though. I don't think it will. I think it'll still say New York Mets. Yeah, it still says Mets because the report was already generated. So 142 and 20, 1,293 runs for, 451 runs against. That's a 846 run differential. Almost 2,000 strikeouts thrown, 324 walks allowed, 314 team batting, 391 team home runs. All right, top players. Oscar Charleston, number 1, ahead of Ohtani. Then Ohtani, then Schwarber, then Cool Papa Bell, Buck Leonard, Turkey Stearns, Torriente, and then Acuna Jr., Josh Naylor, and then Willie Wells. Interestingly, Cool Papa Bell profile did not look as good as some of the other outfielders we had. But 330 average, 33 home runs, 30 stolen bases. He looks like he's going to sim pretty well, or at least the computer believes he is going to sim very well. All right. Those of you who submitted fact giveaway guesses, are your guesses already out the window? I would not have. I knew this team was going to be good. I would not have guessed 142 win prediction. All right, let's go to opening day. No, you know what? I don't want to go to opening day. I want to go. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, Satchels are no 1 spot now. Wow, Nerd gets 140. All right. Let's go to opening day. I wanted to make sure we saw Satchel pitch, but he's pitching opening day. All right, we're gonna go to our opening day, which is after the Tokyo series. So the Cubs and Dodgers split the Tokyo series, and now everyone else is starting their seasons. We are playing Houston in an interleague game, so we're going to be down at the bottom of the schedule. Here, there we are. We're going to hide scores, and we're going to quick play the game. Satchel Paige against Hunter Brown. And let's watch some highlights. All right, top of the first. We got 1 out. Oscar Charleston's at bat with a 1-1 count. Fly ball to right field, and that is out of here. Solo home run. Puts the first run up on the board. Top of the second. Runners on first and third for a relatively light hitting Newt Allen. 2 outs and a full count. Drives one right back through the box for a base hit and a run scored. Runners get around second, go all the way to third. So Judy Johnson goes first to third on that, and we got Cool Papa Bell, our leadoff hitter, with 2 outs and a 3-1 count. Draws the walk. Bases loaded for Oscar Charleston. You walk the bases loaded, then you face a guy with 70 contact, 80 power, and 70 eye. And he's our 2-hole hitter. All right, 2 outs and a 1-2 count to Oscar Charleston. Oh, they got him swinging. Okay, that's what I get for opening my mouth. All right, bottom of the 7th. Satchel Paige is still in the game, working on a 4-hitter. He's got Altuve on second and Paredes at bat with 1 out and a 3-1 count. Gives up the walk, first and second for Diaz. 1-0 count. Ground ball to third, over to first for the out. Runners will advance. So it's 2 outs and an 0-2 count for Caratini. Could use a punch out right here. Fly ball to center field. And Oscar Charleston puts it away. Preserves the shutout. They go to the bottom of the 8th. Dubon leading things off with a 2-2 count. Line drive to third. It's over the third baseman's head into the left field corner. The throw in is cut off. Throw to second not in time, so it's a leadoff double. 2 outs and an 0-2 count with runners on first and second for Altuve. Ground ball to third. Over to first. In time. Retires the side. Will Page pitch the 9th? We'll find out after the top of the 9th with Cool Papa Bell up with 1 out and an 0-1 count. Line drive into the left field corner. That's going to be trouble. Took a good bounce for the left fielder, though. And they're going to hold him to a double. That's it. Run does not score, so we're going to go to the bottom of the 9th. Still up 3-0. Barnhill is in out of the bullpen. So even Satchel Hill in 2025 cannot go the distance. Satchel Paige. Did I say Satchel Hill? Satchel Paige in 2025 cannot go the distance. That's just modern baseball. All right, we do get the win, 3-0. A shutout to open the season. Satchel Paige is player of the game. He went 8 innings, 5 hits, 2 walks, no earned runs, 6 strikeouts. Cool Papa Bell went 3 for 4 with a double and a walk. Check out the box score. Yes, Satchel Paige. Unfortunately, I cannot make players eligible for my own team. Otherwise, I'd be butchering Babe Ruth. Let's see. And Hank Aaron. Let's see. Cool Papa Bell 3 for 4. Oscar Charleston hit that home run. Actually, not much offense other than that. Buck Leonard did go 1 for 2 with a walk. Yeah, so it was mostly the pitching and a timely home run. Because even Cool Papa Bell's 3 for 4, he didn't score, he didn't drive in a run. He did walk, so he was on base 4 times out of 5. All right, let's go back to the standings view. Let's finish the month. All right, we're 3-1 in March, but we'll take a closer look after we run a full month of April. (14-2), 17-2, 20-2. Then we lost 2 in a row. Then we started another winning streak. A 13-game winning streak. 11-game extra base hit streak by Oscar Charleston. Is Oscar Charleston a rookie? What version did we bring in? We brought in 2025 Oscar Charleston. There's no way he's a rookie. I think usually by the time the Rookie of the Year voting comes around, like it won't let him win it. but it is weird that he's on a rookie team. Yes, this is the only way the Mets are going to do well, is in my fantasy sims. We're going to win 27 games. I was going to say in a season, but we'll do better than that. But we've won 27 games in the first full month of the season. It'll take us all spring to get 27 wins. 27-4. You know what? The Dodgers are keeping pace. These are just the regular old Dodgers, and they are 23-8. Oh, Tiny's got 40 RBI. He's still leading the league. Buck Leonard's second. Cool Papa Bell hitting 390. And let's see, how's the pitching staff doing on the leaderboard? Page and Diego are second and third in ERA. Rogan and Page are first and second in wins. Page and Day are second and third in strikeouts. All right, let's go. Let's run the next month. Still 4 losses. All right, there's the 5th loss, 6th loss, 7th loss. Staying on 7 losses for a while, 8 losses. "45-game on-base streak by Cool Papa Bell," and we did have a 10-game winning streak in there. All right, let's see if he won any monthly awards here. April, Charleston won Batter of the Month, hitting .367 in 23 games, 11 home runs, 30 RBI. And Rogan was Pitcher of the Month in April. Rogan went 5-0 with a 2.10 ERA, 34 strikeouts, and only 5 walks in 34 and a third. For May, Cool Papa Bell, Batter of the Month, hit .409 with 8 home runs, 31 RBI, 30 runs scored from the leadoff spot. Mendez, Pitcher of the Month, he went 6 and did he go 6-0? They just said 6-0 with a 2.23 ERA, 50 strikeouts in 40 innings, and a 171 opposition batting average. All right, racking up the monthly awards here. All right, let's do the month of June. We've already hit 50 wins, and it's like June 10th. Oh, wait, here's Juneteenth in the sim. Juneteenth in the sim, right there. We're 68-8. Could you imagine having 68 wins today in the majors? Today, June 19th, you have 68 wins. Okay, who has the most wins in the majors right now? MLB standings. We were 68-8 on this day. All right, let's see. The Yankees have 45 wins today. The Guardians 40, and the Mariners 39. In the NL, the Braves have 46, the Brewers have 45, and the Dodgers have 48. Yeah, so 48 is the most. The Dodgers. Thank you, Ollie North. Yeah. This team had 68 on Juneteenth. 30-game winning streak. Holy cow. 30-game winning streak. Unbelievable. All right, let's see if he won any more Batter or Pitcher of the Month awards. Oscar Charleston had 35 hits and 12 home runs, a 385 average, 32 RBI, and 28 runs scored. A 513 on-base percentage for the month. 513. Leon Day is Pitcher of the Month, 6-0. 149 opposition batting average, 60 strikeouts in 40 innings. Holy cow. That's crazy. Amazing. What a month. Yeah, he's 12-1 on the season already. But 60 strikeouts in 40 innings for the month. A 1.35 ERA. for the month of June. All right, let's sim to the All-Star break. I mean, the last time I did this with NeL All-Stars, and we did not have the single season sim, and a lot of our players came in nerfed because of the NeL import issue. We did win like 130 games, so this is even more so because it's actually importing properly now. Oscar Charleston leading vote getter. We are on a 14-game winning streak, 87-9. Okay. It's the All-Star break, and this team has already won more games than the Mets are going to win all season in 2026. 87-9. I don't think the Mets are even going to get to 87 wins. There's no way. So we're at the All-Star break, and we're going to win more games than the actual Mets. Cool Papa Bell hitting 375, leading the majors. Yeah, who beat him? That's right. Who has that? Who gave him the loss? Charleston and Buck Leonard are first and third in home runs. Leonard, Charleston, and Cool Papa Bell in the top three in RBI. Yeah, Ollie North in 2025, Ohtani is beatable for the MVP. In 2024, it was really hard. His average is much lower in 2025, so he is beatable. But it still takes a huge effort. Satchel Paige with a sub-2 ERA. Paige, Rogan, and Day leading in wins. Day and Paige first and third in strikeouts. I mean, Chris Sale's so good. He's still second in strikeouts between these two imported historical players. And somehow Yamamoto's still leading the league in shutouts with 2. Rogan's got 1. All right, let's go one more game to the All-Star break. And let's take a look at the All-Star voting and selections. Number of All-Stars is one of the questions in the pack giveaway, so this is of interest. Okay, All-Star voting. Wait, Josh Gibson is not in the top 3 in voting. What happened to Josh Gibson? What is he doing? Josh, what are you doing? Josh Gibson hitting 290 with only 13 home runs. I mean, look, he's still got a 910 OPS. He's still crushing it. It's just, I was expecting more. I think the high strikeout environment is actually probably hurting him. The 35 avoid K in this run environment with so many strikeouts being thrown, that is actually probably bringing him down quite a bit. Because otherwise his profile and his stats look pretty good. Yeah, he's already at 97 strikeouts. That makes it a little bit tough. Buck Leonard leading in voting at first base. Newt Allen third in voting at second base. Judy Johnson leading at third base. Where is Willie Wells? Willie Wells not in the top 3. Willie Wells 14 home runs, 304 average. I mean, that seems pretty good. 4.2 WAR already. I'm assuming he's like 4th in voting. Must be just outside of that. In the outfield, which we knew was our strength, we've got Torriente leading in left, Oscar Charleston leading the majors, Turkey Stearns behind Acuna Jr. What's Acuna Jr. doing? He's hitting 345 with 16 bombs, so he's legit outplaying Turkey Stearns in right field. Shohei with almost 6 million votes, hitting 283 with 38 bombs. Cool Papa Bell hitting 373 with 23 bombs. How do you compare those two? They're very different stat lines. Now, the computer does have a hard time voting for created pitchers. As you can see, none of our starting pitchers are out there, even though I'm sure we're still dominating. Oh, let's save this view as pitching splits is what I call it in my perfect team stuff. Okay, so let's go to pitching stats. Yeah, Leon Day is 13-1 with a 2.84 ERA. Diego is 13-2 with a 2.34 ERA. And what's Diego batting? He's also throwing in 6 home runs and a 270 average with a 128 OPS plus on top of those pitching stats. Pretty awesome. Mendez 12-1 with a 3.47. Satchel 17-1 with a 1.53 ERA. And he did not get top 5 votes. Bullet Rogan 14-2 with a 2.76. One of the things with a team like this is we're not going to get a lot of saves because we're going to be winning by so much. Also, with the stopper, closer, sit up, there's not going to be one pitcher getting all the saves. So this is a bullpen by committee. It says, what has Ohtani done to us? That I look at a pitcher with an 875 OPS and think, that's not bad. Yep. Yeah, he has changed things for sure. All right. Let's see who's actually... Now, the computer does usually do a good job of picking the right pitchers, though, even though it doesn't vote for them. Okay. Diego, Page, Bullet Rogan. Wow, it only went 3 deep in the pitching staff. It didn't take Josh Gibson, Buck Leonard, Judy Johnson, Willie Wells, Torriente, Cool Papa Bell, Oscar Charleston, Turkey Stearns. 10 All-Stars. 10 All-Stars. I think even with this team, I think that's only ties the number of All-Stars that... Was it Nerd of Anarchy that just had 10 All-Stars in Creator roster? Wow. So, yeah, even with this team, it only had 10 All-Stars. I mean, 10's still a lot. Every team still has to have an All-Star. And so that only leaves, so many at-large All-Star bids. So 10 is still an accomplishment. Let me count for the bottom again just to make sure. Stearns, Charleston, Bell, Torriente, Wells, Johnson, Leonard, Rogan, Page, Diego. Yeah, 10. It should be 15, right? 5 each, 15. Yeah, 15 and 15. I think there's 34 All-Star spots, so 19 at-large spots. So of the 20 we could have potentially gotten... Is it 32? Let me see. Game settings, league settings, options. All-Star game roster size 34. It might be 32 in real life, but it's 34 in the game. And I left this as the default. So I did not change this to 34. But it might be 32 in real life. I don't know. But it is 10 All-Stars. That means we got at least 50% of the at-large spots that we could have gotten. Our one spot for our team, and then 19 at-large spots. Yeah, Ollie North, exactly. We got half of our potential. All right, home run challenge. Who do we have in here? Oscar Charleston, Buck Leonard. That's it, only 2, and they're on the same half of the bracket. Did you both advance, though? So one of them will face either Judge or State. Oh, look. It's 2 Mets and 2 Yankees. Awesome. I like that. Let's see. Charleston and Judge. Judge always wins this. Yeah, Judge wins it again. 13-12. It was a good contest. Charleston and Leonard 14-13. Judge just destroyed Giancarlo Mike Stanton. All right, so let's go see the All-Star game. We'll see how our National League NEL team does. We win 7-2. Nicely done. Drake Baldwin got player of the game. Toriente went 1 for 2 with a run scored. Stearns went 1 for 2. Judy Johnson went 1 for 5 with a run scored. Oscar Charleston went 0 for 1 with a walk. Cool Papa Bell 0 for 2 with a walk. Willie Wells 0 for 2 with a walk. Buck Leonard 2 for 5 with 2 runs and an RBI. Oh, he hit a home run. Yeah, what about on the pitching side? Diego got to start the game, gave up 1 hit and a strikeout. Oh, we just had 1 pitcher appear? Alright. I think our All-Stars did pretty well. Alright, let's finish out the month. Judge his home runs because his swing zone is about 4 feet off the ground. His line drives clear walls. Yeah, he's just a beast. We got our 10th loss, 11th loss. 14-game shutdown streak for Foster ends. 11-game winning streak for Mendez ends. All right, let's see if we got any player or pitcher of the month awards that month. Buck Leonard this time hit .330 with 12 home runs, 28 RBI, and 22 runs scored. And, Christopher Sanchez from the Phillies takes the pitcher of the month. All right, we got shut out that month. Not bad. Good job, Christopher Sanchez. You just won pitcher of the month against a rotation of legends. Yeah, Buck Leonard's got 41 home runs. Oscar Charleston's got 45. Ohtani, though, still up there with 40. Judge is up there, too. Judge has 41. What's amazing is when we do teams like this, and there's still regular major leaguers on the leaderboard, it is really impressive. It shows how good some of these players are. Ohtani, Judge, awesome. Pitching staff. Now, of course, wins we're going to be tops because we have the run support. But Day is third in strikeouts. Page still has a sub-2 ERA. Look at Nick Lodolo with a 2.14. All right, let's run the month of August. Eight consecutive strikeouts by Leon Day. 8 games quality start streak by Diego. Cool Papa Bell is now leading the league in batting average. Yeah, Aaron Judge is hitting .345, 54 home runs, and 128 RBI. So he's 3 batting average points and 1 RBI off Triple Crown pace. I don't know, what's Barger doing with 129 RBI? He's hitting .283 with 40 home runs. Buck Leonard is hitting .304 with 48 bombs and 153 RBI. Oscar Charleston .339 with 52 bombs and 139 RBI. What's going on the pitching side? Satchel still a sub 1.5 ERA, leading in wins and now leading in strikeouts. So Satchel Paige in Triple Crown position. All right, let's do the month of let's just go to the end of the regular season, September 28th. Judge has moved into the batting average lead. We have 1 game left to go. 38-game hitting streak for Cool Papa Bell. 16-game win streak for Page comes to an end. Oh, now our owner in September changes the team focus to win now. This is the funniest. This might be the funniest thing that's happened in a sim. On September 28th, the second to last day of the season, with 145 wins, the owner says, "You know what? My expectations are no longer neutral. I want us to win now." Amazing. With one game left to go, he wants to make sure we win now. That is the craziest thing I might have seen in a sim so far. Game 161 with 145 wins, the owner finally changes their expectations from neutral to win now. We are first in every category, and now the owner wants us to focus on winning. Yeah, Nerd says maybe he just means this game. This last game of the season that is meaningless. Make sure you win it. All right, 150, 145 and 16. We are ahead of the projection. I mean, shouldn't we rest our players for the postseason? All right, let's sim today. We lost. We lost the last game of the season because the owner put too much pressure on our team. Quit micromanaging us, owner. I have things under control. It's when you step in and micromanage, you mess up my team, man. Come on, Eric. All right, we do finish. Wait, is there a game 163? Yeah, the Tigers and Twins have to sort out this wild card spot. I think that's it. That's probably the only game 163. The Twins win 11-8, so that should settle everything. No, wait. Now there's another. Is there another? The Tigers and Twins. Oh, there was a three-way tie for that spot. Okay, so yeah, there's one more game to be played. So someone's getting a game 184. The Twins are getting a game 164. I always like it when we get a 164. Comey says this feels like a 90s sports movie. The owner is the villain. He wants this to blow up. Ollie North says this really does sound like the Mets management. All right, let's see who makes the playoffs here. The Twins win 9-5, so that should finish up the season now. Yeah, it's always great when there's a game 164. Satchel Paige. 1933 Satchel Paige. I'm glad we made the change from the 1943. Does win the Triple Crown. Buck Leonard's the home run champion. Cool Papa Bell's the batting champion. I mean, just to be able to read these names doing these things is so awesome. Right? Satchel Paige winning the Triple Crown in 2025. Buck Leonard leading the league in home runs with 63. And Cool Papa Bell leading the league in average with a very nice 369 batting average. Yeah, call me that. I don't, did I stream it in 25? I have done stuff like that where instead of taking the best season, I take like sometimes I'll take the worst season of the best players that had like at least 300 plate appearances or 100 innings pitched. Those are pretty fun too. It's like the worst seasons of best players. They're still pretty good. But there are some like players who had great careers that did have like real stinker seasons. All right, so let's see. Triple Crown. How about on the pitching side? Oh, sorry, on the batting side. Aaron Judge did win the Triple Crown in the AL. 340 average, 62 bombs, 144 RBI. On our side, Buck Leonard had home runs and RBI, but he only hit. He hit only 321. 321, 63 bombs, 199 RBI. The Hack Wilson record falls. It's very rare. Even doing sims like this, it is rare that Hack Wilson record falls. And so, how did Lodolo finish? He finished third, 2.41. Satchel Paige kept his ERA below 2 for the season. And almost had 300 strikeouts. Yeah, let's see. With Lodolo's full line, he went 17-6, 205 strikeouts in 202 innings, and a 2.41 ERA. That's a pretty good season. That's awesome. If not for these players we brought in, he would really be sticking out for sure. Zach Wheeler had 283 strikeouts, went 15-9 with a 4.07 ERA. Yeah, he did that despite having to face this team. I'm sure at least a couple times. So you take out his stats against this team, he's probably even better. All right, let's save the regular season and let's go on to the postseason. Now, of course, we want to go to a four-man rotation to get this scrub Leon Day out of the rotation. I mean, really, our worst pitcher is probably Mendez. Actually, let's just look at the pitching stats. Look at this. Everyone had a whip under 1. All the starters had a whip under 1. But yeah, Mendez is probably our worst. Well, no, Mendez or Rogan. If you look at ERA, if you look at whip, if you look at WAR, if you look at FIP, yeah, the worst was 23-3 with a 3.10. You would still give Rogan the nod over Mendez? Yeah, Rogan has a better strikeout to walk ratio. Yeah, it's close. It's close. Day has definitely fallen out of the conversation though. Day is staying in. Even the strikeouts per nine, Mendez and Rogan are exactly the same. I think I agree though. I think Mendez is going to go to their bullpen. So we'll move Mendez to the 5 spot. We'll go to a 4-man rotation. And, we don't have a righty stopper, so that's where Mendez can come in. Oh, wait, it wasn't Ray Brown. It was Mendez I wanted. And then that means we can bump Bill Foster to a setup role. Matlock can move to 6 or later. Foster can back up stopper. Yeah, Mendez has a matchstick and we still put him into the bullpen. The relief pitcher with 11% of the team's losses. Nice. Alright, let's save this. Alright, we're ready for the postseason. And let's go to the tree view for the wild card round. And we'll speed through those. Okay, the Diamondbacks beat the Phillies, so they'll face our NeL All-Stars, our Juneteenth tribute team. Cubs beat the Braves. The Cubs sim very well in this version of OTP in the 2025 season, so they are a team to watch. The Blue Jays beat the Rays. They'll face the Yankees, and the Twins beat the Royals. They will face the Rangers. All right, we're going to move to the scores view for the rest of the postseason. NL is going to kick things off. Just as I jinxed the Cubs, the Dodgers beat them 8-4. We have Higo on the mound against Corbin Burns. He wins 6-4. Newt Allen had the only home run. Wow. Our light fielding second baseman went 2 for 4 with a bomb. 3 RBIs and 2 runs scored. All right, we go to game 2, but first AL game 1. Twins beat the Rangers 5-4. They hand Eovaldi the lost. And the Yankees win 9-5. In the NL, game 2 between the Dodgers and the Cubs win 8-2, so they tied that series up at 1 apiece. We finally got Satchel on the mound against Eduardo Rodriguez. Oh my goodness, we lost with Satchel starting. He's got a 6 postseason ERA. He gave up 3 in the 5th. Let's see what happened there. Yeah, he got rocked in the 5th. Brown came in, gave up another run, and then Smokey Joe Williams finally shut things down in the 9th. But it was too late. Damage is already done. We're down 5-1 in that one. Wow. All right, it's a 1-1 series. It's now a 3-game best of 3 basically, with splitting the first 2. Yeah, that's probably true. Shutting down that lineup is actually the more impressive part. Twins win 4-2, so they take a 2-0 series lead. And the Yankees win 7-4. So both of those series are 2-0, unlike in the NL. All right, AL's going to go to the travel day. Both NL series are tied at 1 apiece. Cubs win 4-1. They take the series lead. And we've got Bullet Rogan on the mound. Kaylee6, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. And our guys, they regrouped during the off day. They had a players only meeting, and they came back to win 10-1, 17 hits. Charleston went yard twice. All right, they definitely did what they needed to on their travel day. Got their house in order. Bullet Rogan, 15 strikeouts. Rewarding our belief in him and leaving him in the 4-man rotation. He said, hold my beer. 4 hits, no walks, 1 earned run, 15K. Josh Gibson, 4 for 5 with a double, an RBI and a run scored, and a walk. All right, everyone's in action tonight. We have ALDS has 2 potential elimination games. Twins sweep the Rangers, winning 8-7 in extras, walking it off in the bottom of the 12th. But the Blue Jays force at least a game 4. They fall behind 2-1 in the top of the 10th, but then walk it off with 3 in the bottom of the 10th. That isn't... And they had to score in the bottom of it just to tie it up to force extras. This would have been an exciting game. It's scoreless till the 8th. The Yankees score in the top of the 8th. The Blue Jays tied up in the bottom of the 9th. The Yankees pull ahead in the top of the 10th, and then the Blue Jays walk it off in the bottom of the 10th. You could have shown up late to this game and seen everything. All right. NLDS, Game 4. Cubs looking to close out the Dodgers. Cubs win 5-2. I told you the Cubs sim well in this game. I don't. Overall, the perfect. I think there have been several relief pitchers that did that. I think Griffin Jacks did that once. Who else? Yeah, I mean it is possible. It's definitely not impossible. Yeah, relievers are much more volatile. Ollie North might be right. I don't recall any batters making that jump. And then David Peterson made a jump from silver to diamond in OOTP27. Okay, and we've got Game 4 of the Juneteenth All-Stars against the Diamondbacks. Potential elimination game here for the Diamondbacks. Ooh, it's a 3-1 loss, forcing a Game 5 where anything can happen. Charleston goes yard, but it's not enough. Leon Day went 6 2/3, only gave up 1 earned. Oh, the bullpen blew it in the 8th. Who did that? Brown, who lost 11% of her games, lost another one. Who who was that pointed out that he lost 11%? That was so funny. I'm scrolling back to see if I can find it. Oh, Perry said that. The relief pitcher lost 11% of her games. That was Brown. All right, this is gonna be a bummer if we lose in the division series. All right, let's go to the scores view. All right, we do have a travel day. AL has game 4. The Yankees win 12-8, winning the series. They score 4 in the top of the 13th. I always like it when both teams score in extra innings and they force more extra innings. They did that in the 11th, each scoring 1 inning, forcing the 12th and 13th, where the Yankees scored 4 in the top of the 12th. Yeah, our owner said, I told you to start winning. We have more losses in the postseason now than probably we had in any month of the regular season. All right, let's go the next day. This is a big game. All right, so we're gonna hide scores. I learned this from Smiley Face Jane. You also have to turn off achievements so you don't get a spoiler. Because if you don't uncheck this, if you win, you're going to go to the next round of the playoffs, and that's an achievement, and that'll pop up, so it'll act as a spoiler. So now we've turned that off. Diego's on the mound. That means he's also going to be hitting, so we can get to watch Diego hitting against Merrill Kelly. All right, so we're in the top of the second after a scoreless and hitless first for both teams. The Diamondbacks are up. Ketel Marte leading things off with a 2-0 count. Oh, it's a fly ball to deep right field, and that is gone. So the Diamondbacks take a 1-0 lead as we stay in the top of the second. First and second for Smith. Can Diego get out of the jam? 2 outs and a 1-2 count. It's a fly ball to right field. That's in the gap. That is off the wall. That is trouble. Charleston picks it up, throws it in, but the damage is going to be done. It is a 3-0 game as we head to the bottom of the second. Runners on first and second for Willie Wells. A full count with no outs. He draws the walk, bases loaded with no outs. That brings up Pete Hill off the bench. Think of how good this team is that Pete Hill, with his 80 contact and 65 power, is coming off the bench. Line drive into right center field, to the window, to the wall. That is going to be extra bases. Might clear the bases. Yeah, he's in with a base clearing triple. 3 RBIs, ties the game, and brings up Diego, the pitcher, in the DH spot with a 1-1 count. Line drive into left center field. That's also going to score another run. 4-3. Comey, you're either the first one who's ever gotten that reference or the first one who's commented on it, because no one's ever commented on that. All right, we head to the top of the fifth. It's still a 1-run game. Anyone's game right now. Smith on second for Josh Naylor with 2 outs. Diego winds and deals. It's a blooper to right field. It's going to be a base hit. Oh, it's a slow roller, too, so that runner is going to score. If that were hit harder, the right fielder would have had a chance to get him, but it died when it hit the grass. All right, it's a tie game. Arizona's still up with a runner on first for Corbin Carroll. Bill Foster in the game now. Got the lefty-lefty matchup. It does not help, though. It's a gapper to left center field. That's also off the wall. Oh, Charleston just lets the ball go by him. And so that's going to let another run score. It's 5-4. Now down by one. And the Diamondbacks still batting. Ketel Marte. Line drive to center field. That is over Charleston's head. That's going to score another run. Now down by two. Diego up with a 2-1 count. No longer pitching, but still in the game as the DH. Line drive into center field. That's a leadoff single. Gets things started for Oscar Charleston, who's now up with a full count. Draws the walk. First and second for Willard Brown. Another player off the bench who's got 75 contacts, 65 power. He's pinch hitting. Who's he pinch hitting for? I don't know who's he pinch hitting for, but it's a base hit to center field. Run scores. The lead is now 1. Cool Papa Bell, batting champion, up with runners on first and second in a 1-0 count. The whole roster rest rotation got thrown off because of the win now to end the season. That's right. Cool Papa Bell. Grounds one to short. Throw to first is in time, but runners move to second and third. Full count for Josh Gibson. Draws the walk. Bases loaded. Still 1 out. 0-2 count to Buck Leonard. Line drive to center field. That's going to plate at least 1. Runners rounding third, headed home. The throw is offline, and it's going to score 2. The trail runner is out at third. But we do take the lead. And Willie Wells, first pitch with 2 outs. Fly ball to right field. Oh, it's got the distance. That's gone. A 2-run shot. Oliver says, I enjoy how the game gives you right-handed batters and left-handed batters over the batter. Like it's not obvious when they stand in the box. That's funny. That is funny. All right. Foster facing Moreno with a runner on first. This is the top of the 6th with 1 out. 0-1 count. Line drive to center. Oscar Charleston scoops it. The throw. Where's the throw? Throw. Okay. Holds him to a single. First and second. 1 out and an 0-2 count. Could use a punch out here. Gets him swinging. That's a big one. And got out of that inning. Bottom of the 6th, looking for some more insurance. Charleston with 1 out. Fly ball to right field. And that's gone. Making up for his plays in the outfield. Puts a run on the board. The inning continues. Runners on first and second for Josh Gibson. 1 out. Fly ball to right center field. That's a huge shot to the right field. And that's another home run. Gibson goes 422 feet. Bottom of the 7th. Up by 6. Diego up with a 2-2 count. Fly ball to left field. That's a line shot. It's got the distance, and that's gone. It's now 2 touchdowns to 1 as Corbin Carroll comes up with 1 out and a 1-2 count. Foster in a long relief role here. Line drive to left field, and that is 2-point conversion is good, and it is 14-8. 2 outs and an 0-1 count to Suarez. Ground ball to third, over to first, in time, and that'll retire the side, end the game, and send us to the NLCS. Yeah, we we blew up in the 5th and 6th innings. After they went ahead 6-4 in the 5th, we scored 5 in the bottom of the 5th. All right, so we are headed to the next round. But, oh yeah, everyone else is already done. Okay. All right. We are facing the Cubs, who, again, do sim very well in 2025 and OOTP27. And it's the Yankees Twins. All right. NL's going to kick things off. We've got Satchel Paige against Matthew Boyd. It is 4-1. Everyone on this team is mad about how that division series went. So we come out hot. Satchel Paige gives up 2 hits, no walks, 1 earned run, strikes out 9 and 7 2/3, and we win 4-1 on 12 hits. No home runs, playing dead ball style in this one. All right, AL is gonna start. It's the Yankees hosting the Twins. Twins win 9-2, including 5 runs in the top of the 9th. They were offended at Ollie North's incredulity at their appearance in the postseason. They said, "Take that, Ollie North. We're gonna win 9-2." All right, Bullet Rogan with a 1.12 postseason ERA, facing Jameson Taillon with a 12.27 ERA. And now that I said that, I've probably just jinxed us. Nope, we win 4-1. Another great pitching performance. Bullet Rogan this time, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned, no walks, 9 strikeouts. Home runs by Gibson, Leonard, and Wells. After winning a game with no home runs, we win this one with 3 home runs. All right, we head to the travel day up 2-0, and in the AL, it's Minnesota leading by 1 game, so we head to game 2. Yankees win 4-1. They tie that series up at 1 apiece. All right, game 3 is Leon Day versus Colin Ray, and we're going to play. All right, it's a 10-6 win, not the pitching duel that we had in the first 2 games, but it is a 10-6 win. Cool Papa Bell goes 2 for 5 with a home run, and Willie Wells goes 3 for 4. How did Willie Wells do this season? Yeah, he hit 321 with 21 home runs. He heard that we were considering putting him in the bullpen, and he just went off. That's right. All right, ALCS resumes. Warren versus Ober. Yankees win 9-6. They take a 2-1 series lead. D go on the mound against Cade Horton. It is a 4-2 win as the Juneteenth NeL All-Stars sweep the NLCS. Man, they had such a rough division series, and then they go ahead and sweep in the NLCS. And they're going to get a lot of rest here as the Yankees and Twins are headed to a Game 4 with a series 2-1. Twins win 6-1. So not only are we going to at least Game 6, but there will be another travel day in there. So our rotation will be completely reset. So Page should be able to start Game 1 of the World Series. Twins win 10-9 in 11 innings, walking off in the bottom of the 11th. They take a 3-1 series lead. And here's that travel day as we head to Game 6. Twins looking to close out the Yankees with Pablo Lopez in the mound facing Marcus Stroman. Twins win 5-0, shutting out the Yankees and headed to the World Series. What do you think of that, Ollie North? Now they're in the World Series. All right, let's, I think, sim a travel day, right? Yeah. Okay, Game 1, Joe Ryan against Satchel Paige. Both 1-1, both with 3+ ERAs. And the Juneteenth NeL All-Stars win 11-2. Satchel Paige goes 7 innings, 2 earned, scatters 4 hits and 2 walks, gets 9 strikeouts. Judy Johnson goes 3 for 4 with a home run. Cool Papa Bell goes 4 for 5 with a home run. Judy Johnson taking it personally that I said the third base is going to be our weak spot. He had 325 with 26 home runs and having a good postseason. All right, let's head to Game 2 of the World Series. It is Bullet Rogan 2-0 against Bailey Ober, 1-1 with a 5.25 ERA. Is a 4-1 win. Bullet Rogan went 6 2/3, 1 earned, 5 hits, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Turkey Stearns hits 2 home runs in the winning effort. Headed into travel day up 2-0 as we head to Minnesota for games 3, 4, and 5. It is a loss. Twins win 6. I intentionally didn't say game 5 if necessary because I didn't want to jinx our team. We lost anyway. Despite 2 home runs by Buck Leonard. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? Look who got the loss. Dave Brown, who had 11% of her regular season losses, now has 2 losses in the postseason too. Perry's loving this. All right. We're still up 2-1 as we head to Game 4. And we have Leon Day on the mound against Chris Paddock. It is a win. It takes 12 innings, but we do win. 8-6, 2 runs in the top of the 12th. Judy Johnson goes 3 for 5 with a home run. Again, continuing his campaign to remind me that I said third base was our weak spot. What are his postseason splits? I gotta see this. All right, he's just hot in this series. He's 286 for the postseason. But I gotta say, he did have a very good regular season compared to what I thought he might do. All right, it is. Wait, what is this? Go to today's date. There we go. All right. All right, Game 4. Potential to close out the series with Satchel Paige on the mound. Satchel Paige against Pablo Lopez. Wait, I went to the next day by mistake. We won 6-0. A 5-hit shutout. We win the World Series. Satchel Paige struck out 11, 7 1/3, no earned runs, 3 hits, 1 walk, 11 strikeouts. Judy Johnson again reminding me of what I said, goes 3 for 3 with an RBI, a run scored, and a walk. Oscar Charleston, he may have forgotten how to play center field, but he did not forget how to hit. He went 2 for 5 with 2 bombs, 2 solo shots. He had 7 home runs in the postseason. Let's see who our postseason MVPs were. The World Series MVP, Buck Leonard. On the series, he had 409 with four home runs. Wow. His OPS was 1591. Our championship series, league championship series MVP was Cool Papa Bell. He had 312, but he slugged 938. He had 3 home runs. Cool Papa Bell, 60 power, slugged 938. Slugged, not OPS, slugged 938 in the league championship series. Division series, our MVP was Oscar Charleston. He slugged 952. He had 4 home runs. He had 4 home runs in those 5 games, including in the deciding game, Game 5. All right, that was cool. Let's go to postseason awards now. Let's save this. all messages. Okay, Great Glove Awards. What's our game score? 1,400? Oh, it didn't give us our game score. Okay. Gold Gloves. Oscar Charles. Okay. Man. For all that smack we talked in the postseason, he won the Gold Glove in center field. He was maybe just having a bad day. All right, Perry. Have a good night. If you were entered in the pack giveaway, I'll let you know if you win. You'll get your packs if you did. Great call though on Dave Brown, losing 11% of our games, who also went on to lose the majority of our postseason games. Okay, so we had one Gold Glove from the much maligned Oscar Charleston. And then let's go to reliever of the year. Is it going to be Dave Brown? Bill Foster led our team in saves with Dave Brown led our league in team in saves with 18. These ERAs are a little too high though, so we may not get any relief pitcher of the year awards votes. The winner usually has a sub 1.5, if not a sub 1 ERA. So Dave Brown almost won relief pitcher of the year. He had 14 first place votes against 16 for Jack Dreyer. Despite the 2.73 ERA, he did come in second in relief pitcher of the year voting. All right, next up is Platinum Stick Awards. We should get a bunch of these. First base, third base, shortstop, left field, center field, right field, DH. Oh, we beat out Shohei. Seven Silver Slugger Awards, including beating Shohei. Wow. So who did we lose to? We lost to Ketel Marte at second. And we lost to Josh Gibson, lost to Drake Baldwin. To be fair, Drake Baldwin had a great season. 335 average, 35 home runs, 124 RBI. Josh Gibson had 23 home runs, hit 299, and 75 RBI. Yeah, Drake Baldwin, he earned it. 7 Silver Slugger Awards. All right, next up, Rookie of the Year. I don't know that we have anyone eligible. Okay, Oscar Charleston was not a... Oh, it made everyone rookies, I guess. None of these players were rookies, so... you know what it is, though? If you go and look at their real-life stats, it doesn't have their NeL stats. So they think Page wasn't a rookie until he was 41. And they don't have... let's look at, like, Oscar Charleston. He has no real-life stats. League scope, all levels combined. So they think he hasn't played. So that's why. No, Ollie North, sometimes that happens, though. But when it comes to Rookie of the Year, there's something that recognizes they're not a rookie, and then they won't win Rookie of the Year. So I thought that's what was going to happen here, too. But I also forgot that they didn't have stats in OOTP and real-life stats. So that's why. They think all these players are rookies. Could you imagine a team of rookies going 145 and 17? Okay, so Cy Young Award. Okay, this will be interesting. I mean, Satchel was a Triple Crown winner. I'm wondering if we're going to take the top 5 spots. 23-3, 19-3, 20-3, 20-1. No ERA for a starter above 3.1. Can we sweep the top 5 Cy Young spots? Let's see. Oh, Yamamoto snuck in there. We got first, third, fourth, and fifth. Who are we missing? Page, Day, Deagle, Rogan. Oh, Mendez. Mendez didn't get a vote. Yeah, but this is before Satch even made it to the major, so he was still a rookie too. Yeah. I thought because it recognized their NEL stats, it would recognize that as service time, but I guess it didn't. And that's why he got dumped to the bullpen. Okay, four-man rotation. Everyone who's going to get Cy Young votes, take a step forward. Not so fast. How did he get no votes, though? Even Lodolo got 9 votes. He didn't get any votes? How? He was 19-3 with a 3.07 ERA. He had 245 strikeouts. And he got no votes. He got no votes. Oh. Well, that's true. Lodolo had a great season. He only had 9 votes. That's true. That is true. Yeah, you only get 5 votes on your 5 votes on your ballot. So, if these 5 are taking up all the votes, then there's not a lot left for Lodolo or for Mendez. Yeah, that's fair. 27-2 with a 1.59 ERA and almost 300 strikeouts. That's a amazing season. I mean, if anything, this highlights how good Satchel Paige was for sure. Which is a worthy endeavor in itself. So this definitely was worth it. This is super fun. Okay, so we have MVP coming up next. Who are our best candidates here? It's set so pitchers cannot win, so it can't be Satchel. 13.1 WAR from Oscar Charleston is insane. From a center fielder hitting 340, 59 bombs, 162 RBI. But Buck Leonard, 63 home runs, 321 average, 199 RBI. I mean, there's got to be. I mean, I know RBI is more of a team stat, but to break Hack Wilkinson's record is pretty awesome. Cool Papa Bell chipping in 28 stolen bases, almost went 30-30. Led the league in batting average, also had 35 home runs. I mean, those 3 should probably be top 3, right? Unless Shohei sneaks in there. But Charleston, Leonard, Cool Papa Bell feel like they should be top 3. Judge, of course, Triple Crown winner, takes it in the AL. Oscar Charleston, Buck Leonard, Cool Papa Bell. Hey, I was right. And then Shohei. Wow, I called that. Charleston, Leonard, Bell should be top 3. Then Shohei, Drake Baldwin had a great season. And then Turkey Stearns, Willie Wells, Cristobal Torriente. Then Trey Turner sneaks in there before Judy Johnson. Yeah, so top 3 MVP. But Oscar Charleston wins it unanimously. All right, we now have enough information to the pack giveaway. Yeah, that's true. Ohtani still got 217 points despite having those 3 guys to sucking up votes. All right, let's take a look here at the guesses. Gotta do a little bit of cleanup. Hide a few columns, resize a few things. Now remember, only first place is determined by the Survivor style section. Then everyone else comes back in for a second place. So if you get knocked out early of the Survivor style section, do not worry. You're going to have another chance. Okay, here we go. Will this team make the playoffs, win the division, make the World Series, win the World Series? Everyone said yes to those. Will player on this win the Cy Young? Everyone said yes. Will player on this team win the MVP? They won the top 3 MVP slots. So we only lose one person. So Bronson Johnson, Nerd of Anarchy, and Akomi of Errors all make it to the final question. Now, if you don't win on this final question, you will get 3 bonus points in the second place portion of the competition. It doesn't guarantee a win, but it does make it a lot easier. The win total was 145. Nerd of Anarchy is closest with a guess of 140. Tremendous guess by Nerd of Anarchy. So Nerd of Anarchy takes first place. Bronson Johnson and Nakomi of Errors get 3 bonus points in the second place competition. So let's hide some columns. And let's resize. Alright, so we're not going to score Nerd of Anarchy's guesses, because he has already won. But everyone else's, we will be scoring. Alright, games behind, everyone was correct. 0 games behind, because they won their division. They won it by 49 games to second place. What is the record for winning a division? Games ahead. MLB record for games ahead in a season. The Cleveland Guardians in they weren't the Guardians then, but 1995 Cleveland finished 30 games ahead of second place Kansas City Royals. 30 games ahead. We destroyed that record by 19 games, 49 games ahead of the Phillies. All right, All-Stars. We had 10 All-Stars. Look at Nerd of Anarchy getting that exactly right. But props to Bronson Johnson, who came very close with a guess of 8 and will get a solo point. No, I'm sorry. Comey of Errors had 9. Comey of Errors gets the solo point. Great guess by Comey of Errors. All right, Gold Glove winners. We had 1 Gold Glove winner. 1 single solitary Gold Glove winner in center field. Formarti gets a solo point. All right, Platinum Stick Awards. 7 of those. Nerd was really closest, but Comey of Errors gets that one with 5. All right, the mass over questions. This should be easy. I think we finished, we were first in everything. So, runs scored, batting average, and home runs hit. Everyone correctly guessed first place. For the others, Bronson Johnson correctly guessed first place, as did Comey of Errors. So headed into the batting questions, we've got 6, 7 for Bronson Johnson, plus 3 bonus points for 10. Formarti has 5. And Comey of Errors has 6, 7, 8, 9 plus 3 bonus for 12. Now, there are still enough questions that anyone can still win, but it is starting to get tight here. Oh, and the Comey of Errors, I think, made a mistake here for guessing the number of home runs hit. He guessed first. The actual answer is 63 by Buck Leonard. Look at this. Bronson, Johnson, and Formarti were each 7 away. Formarti was 7 under. Bronson Johnson was 7 over. So they are both going to get a point there. All right, batting average with at least 300 plate appearances. Pete Hill hit .414, but only had 62 plate appearances. Cool Papa Bell with a very nice .369 batting average. Look at this. Nerd of Anarchy guessed .369 exactly. the meme guess would have taken it, but a Comey of Errors with a .371 right there. 2 points away gets that one. Solo point. All right, OPS. Pete Hill again with a 1229, but not enough plate appearances. Oscar Charleston this time with a very nice 1169. No one guessed a meme guess on this one? 1169. It is going to be Akomi Veras with 1131. Batter War. Best Batter War. 13.1 by Oscar Charleston. 13. Look at Nerd of Eric with a 13.5 guess. Bronson Johnson, by guessing the highest, is going to get that one right with a 12. All right, after the batting questions, we've got Bronson Johnson moves up to 12. Formarti moves up to 6. And Akomi Veras moves up to 14. It is still up for grabs. Comier won Pick Up the Kids. Oh, that's the one that I beat BD Cable in a reverse sweep. Congrats on taking down. Who did you beat in the final, Comey? All right, it is still up for grabs here. Comey Rivera is up by 2, but we have 4 questions left. And the final tiebreaker, if the score is tied, is who got the more recent question right. All right, strikeouts thrown was almost 300. 293 by Satchel Paige. 293. Bronson Johnson's guess of 300 even is going to take that. So it is getting tight here. All right, lowest ERA with at least 100 innings pitched. Satchel Paige, 1.59. Holy cow. Bronson Johnson has just tied it with a guess of 1.5. And he has the tiebreaker by being the most recent correct answer. Oh, I made the finals? Yeah, I made the finals of Pick Up the Kids. Awesome. Awesome. GG's, Comey. Good win. Good win. Good runs by both of us. All right, lowest whip. Satchel Paige, 0.80 whip. Holy cow. 0.80. Comey Rivera is the only one to guess below 0.9 and gets a point there and takes the lead back. It's going to come down to pitcher war. Okay, here's what happens with pitcher war, though. Because we have such good pitchers, the pitcher war number gets pulled down, I think, by all these other great pitchers. So the top pitcher war on this great pitching staff is Satchel Paige with a standalone season like this. Dwight Gooden, right, in 85, should be a 12.4 for Gooden. It's only an 8.7 for Satchel Paige. That's the dynamic that sometimes people forget about. And so Formarti's 7.1 is actually going to be the closest. It comes in surprisingly low because of that. And Formarti plays spoiler, keeps Bronson Johnson from tying it back up. So let's see. That is 2 more points for Bronson Johnson to go to 14. Formarti goes to 7. And Comey Veras goes to 15. So that's first place for Nerd of Anarchy. And Comey Veras, who won a PD Live Daily, also wins 3 packs from our little pack giveaway contest. All right, we're in ads, so we'll wait till the ads are over before we finalize everything here. But I'm going to start looking to see where we're going to raid into. I see Lone Star's out there, so we're going to raid Lone Star. Lone Star SW, if you're not already following, great OOTP streamer. Let's give him a shout out. Let me just peek in here and make sure he's still going to be streaming for a little while. Do I have to highlight my message? I don't think Lone Star saw my message. He saw Real Teddy O responding to it. Let me highlight the message. He is going to be on. All right, we're back from ads, it looks like. So congratulations to our double win. So Nerd of Anarchy wins first place, 7 packs. Congratulations. Tremendous guess on the number of wins. And then Akomi Vera's a 2-time winner tonight, winning a daily PD. And what was that, 100 Clubhouse stars? And wins 3 packs from us. Congratulations. Yeah, Nerd did get a bunch of them right, but Comey nailed a bunch too. He was closer than Nerd Anarchy on some of them. So Bronson Johnson and Comey are really tremendous answers. Congrats. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to raid. So first of all, let me do a little thank you for everyone for being here on this Juneteenth sim. I think it's an important holiday. I think it's important to acknowledge the NeL players. I'm glad MLB is acknowledging their stats by treating them as MLB stats. It's still sometimes frustrating, and this isn't anyone's fault. It's just that the data is not great for some of those older seasons, and the fact that they were not always the same league. There was barnstorming, but I do appreciate that OOTP has done such a good job of making these profiles so much better and more representative, I think, of how great these players were. And yeah, so thanks everyone for being here. I hope you had a good time. I had a blast. I always love seeing these player names doing well, putting up huge stats. Satchel Paige really came through with a Triple Crown season. Fantastic. Cool Papa Bell. I thought from his profile it wasn't going to be as good as he was. He was tremendous. So Comey says, as someone who taught in a school open for people of color, appreciate you doing this. Oh, yeah, of course. I'm super happy to do it. Yeah, I think it's a really important piece of baseball history that I'm glad MLB is finally starting to acknowledge. And yeah, and unfortunately, we can't redo history. We can't know how well these players would have done if they'd been given the opportunities that they should have been. But this is one small way I can make sure that that current baseball fans learn about how good these players were. And I think this really highlighted Satchel Paige in particular. It was really fun to see him do so well. And yeah, not that scrub Dave Brown though. Yeah. So upcoming programming, I do have so tonight we have Nerd of Anarchy, who won our pack giveaway today. He'll be playing Lowball Creator Roster, where we try to build the worst team possible. It's a lot of fun, so come check that out if you're up 10 p.m. Pacific time after Ezra's stream. And then tomorrow we have Find WV playing Lowball Creator Roster. And then Sunday I have a special Father's Day sim. It's the best father-son roster. It's the first time we're playing it with a single season import, so I'm really looking forward to that. And then Clay Dog makes a reappearance in OOTP27 to play Creator Roster for the first time. So it should be a good time. And I think on Tuesday, Tuesday's kind of my experiment / roster building day now. I want to do a Pride Month stream on the 26th. I did this before for the it was when Bill Bean, not Billy Bean of Moneyball fame, but does he go by Billy? Yeah, Billy Bean, and Glenn Burke, who were the two at the time, the two only openly gay former MLB players. Since then, I think one or two other players have come out, and what I did is I imported to the majors those two, and then all the other professional players, because those are the only two. Oh, there are only 3, I think, in the majors. All the other professional baseball players who were openly LGBTQ, and what I did was I took their best professional seasons, entered them into Editor, and had Editor give me major league profiles based on those. And so it was a really fun sim. I think since then more players have come out, I hope. So we'll be able to boost that roster as well. So we'll do that. It'll be the last Friday of Pride Month, which is this month. I thought it'd be a fun way to kind of end Pride Month. And so yeah, we'll build that roster on Tuesday and we'll sim it on Friday. So that's what we have upcoming. So thanks again, everyone, for being here. Appreciate that. You know, 6 players in New York who won't be on that roster. Yeah, yeah. Especially given what's been going on in MLB lately, I wanted to make sure we got that sim in. So I'm looking forward to doing that. All right. Thanks again, everybody. We're gonna raid y'all into Lone Star SW. And if you can, if you're still up, come say hi tonight, 10 p.m. Pacific time, after Ezra Denny's stream. We'll have Nerd of Anarchy playing Low Ball, create our roster.